Chapter 5:24. 1 month. The Templar division remained closed. All the forces in the kingdom of God were deeply disappointed. With the arrival of another major event, everyone's attention shifted to this major event. All the forces that were on good terms with the kingdom of God came uninvited to this grand wedding banquet. The Tenjin Temple stole everyone's limelight for a while. Lin Jiqing, the holy lady of the Tenjin Temple, was also known by everyone. The young master of the Empire of Darkness, Ling Wuji, was also known by everyone. Lin Jiqing and Ling Wuji were known as the Golden Boy and Jade Girl. They were a perfect match. No one dared to question this title. Ling Wuji had the combat power of a 3 scattered immortal. Ordinary people would not dare to offend him. Even some families and forces had to be careful. Ling Wuji could be called a real monstrous genius. Not to mention, he had the backing of the Empire of Darkness. He was the future emperor of the Empire of Darkness. Everyone could not wait to curry favor with such a person. The senior and junior brothers of the Tenjin Temple were also very angry about Ling Wuji's combat power. Except for a few powerful senior brothers of the Tenjin Temple, there were very few people who could compete with Ling Wuji. It could be said that Ling Wuji came with the eyes of thousands of people. Rumble on the spacious square of the Tenjin Temple. At this moment, there were more than tens of thousands of people gathered. Among them, there was no lack of famous people. Without exception, they were the leaders of the major forces. Old Chin, you are coming too. Of course, I have to come to this grand event. If I miss this opportunity, I don't know when I will have the next time. On the square, people were coming and going in groups of 3 to 5. Senior brother, the Tenjin Temple has formed an alliance with the Empire of Darkness. I don't think the royal family will dare to force us again. The Tenjin Temple was on a huge palace. Looking down from above, one could see the entire Tenjin Temple. A beautiful woman in white sighed. She was Lin Jiqing's master. Jiqing is a genius. If it weren't for the royal family's coercion and the great ancestors' whereabouts, we wouldn't have to worry about the royal family. The middle-aged man in brocade robes could not hide the worry between his brows. This man was none other than the palace lord of the Tenjin Temple, the son of heaven. The white-robed beauty looked guilty. This is for Jiqing's own good. If the Xianin body can be combined with the innate true body, she will have a better chance of reaching the celestial immortal realm. If a sect produced a celestial immortal, it would be a great deterrent. Even if the celestial immortal hadn't been in the Xiantian continent for long, he would still be able to wipe out the strongest enemy. Celestial realm, celestial continent. Celestial Chen sect. Mo celestial. Sect was celestial sect, even if celestial sect Chen was a heaven. A celestial sect. However, they seemed immortal was a Chen with Hua with celestial. A Chen in once. IMS Chen. Not everyone could resist the power of a celestial. Junior sister, today is Jiqing's wedding day. As her master, you should go and see her off, the Son of Heaven said. I'm going to welcome all the forces. Rumble. On the square of the Tenjin Temple, a huge warship appeared out of thin air. The huge pressure made many people unhappy. But when they saw the symbol on the warship, they were speechless. The symbol of a huge black castle was the unique symbol of the Empire of Darkness. They couldn't afford to offend such a powerful empire. They could wipe out your entire clan with a single word. The people on the ground shut their mouths. Ling Wuji is so handsome. Young Masterling is so lucky to have a beauty like Lin Jiqing. After the Tenjin Temple and the Empire of Darkness form an alliance, the two forces will be much stronger than they are now. They will form a great force and cooperate with each other. They will be the real overlords. When Ling Wuji appeared on the bow of the warship, the square was filled with thunderous voices. Congratulations, young master. You will finally be able to marry Lin Jiqing. Ling Wuji said calmly, Only a man like me is worthy of Lin Jiqing. As long as I get together with her, my innate yang power will be stimulated. At that time, I will be able to break through to the celestial realm and become a real celestial being. Marrying Lin Jiqing was a kind of alliance. More importantly, she had the mysterious Yin body, which was 1 in a million. This was what Ling Wuji really cared about. In the Xiantian continent, there were all kinds of beauties. But in the face of power, all these things were meaningless. Only power was real. Ling Wuji cared about power more than anyone else. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to cultivate such terrifying power at the age of 100. Young master, the elders of the Tenjin Temple are here. Several elders flew over from afar. Ling Wuji said, "Send the betrothal gifts. Don't let them look down on our empire of darkness." "Yes, young master, the betrothal gifts have arrived." On the bow of the warship, someone immediately reported the betrothal gifts. His voice echoed throughout the square. "The Empire of Darkness sends 900 billion true essence crystals. The first betrothal gift, 900 billion true essence crystals, was already a big sum. It stunned everyone in the square. The big powers might have more than this amount, but for others, this amount was probably something they could never reach in their lifetime. The Empire of Darkness sends 100 lower grade, profound heaven's spiritual treasures. The Empire of Darkness sends 50 middle grade, profound heaven's spiritual treasures. The Empire of Darkness sends 20 upper grade, profound heaven's spiritual treasures. The Empire of Darkness sends 10 top grade, profound heaven's spiritual treasures. The Empire of Darkness sends 100 immortal elixirs. One by one, the treasures were brought out and lined up. The Empire of Darkness was really not simple. Just these things alone were enough to make many families go bankrupt. Lin Jiqing is so lucky. If anyone were to give me so much betrothal gifts, I'll marry him without hesitation. Stop dreaming. He is the young master of the Empire of Darkness. He has the battle strength of a 3 tribulation scattered immortal. Only a girl like Lin Jiqing can match him. When she marries, she must marry someone with a strong background. The people in the square were talking about it. They couldn't hide the excitement and jealousy on their faces. Although the money was tempting, no one was stupid enough to snatch it. The Empire of Darkness sends 3 top-grade celestial artifacts. When the last item was brought out, the square burst into an uproar again. The Empire of Darkness was really rich to use a top-grade celestial artifact as betrothal gifts. A top-grade celestial artifact was always priceless. Now they were giving out 3 top-grade celestial artifacts in one go. It was really generous. The elders of the Tenjin Temple who flew up to greet them were all experienced people, but the scene in front of them still shocked them. It was truly a grand gesture. If these betrothal gifts were calculated, it would definitely be a horrifying number. In particular, many of the treasures were priceless. Even if you had the wealth, you might not be able to buy them from others. The Empire of Darkness did it easily. Ling Wuji saw everything. He didn't care about ordinary things at all. If he activated his bloodline and became a celestial immortal, he could have anything he wanted. It was just a small price to pay. Only mortals would care about these things. Young Masterling, please wait for a moment. Miss Lin will be out soon. The elders of the Tenjin Temple tried to remain calm, but the large number of treasures was still very tempting to them. I'm not in a hurry. Ling Wuji smiled. Saint's Palace. Lin Jiqing changed into a grand wedding dress. Anyone's eyes would light up when they saw it. But at this moment, there was no happy smile on her face. Senior sister, the elders are here to rush us. Shan Shui stood up and couldn't help but speak. She was annoyed at herself for speaking. Lin Jiqing stood up. Let's go out. From this moment on, Lin Jiqing seemed to have cut off everything. She entered a state of emptiness and took another step forward in her martial cultivation. Jiqing, I didn't expect you to really cut off everything. The beautiful woman in white walked out of the void. She couldn't help but applaud her disciple's amazing talent. If it wasn't for the last step of becoming a celestial immortal, she would never have arranged for Lin Jiqing to marry Ling Wuji. Can I really cut off everything? Lin Jiqing asked herself. She seemed to be telling the beautiful woman in white something. Shan Shui, who was listening at the side, was confused. She didn't understand what she was talking about. The beautiful woman in white was silent. Could the state of having no desires really be cut off? Could it really be done? She asked herself. It was very difficult. Master, let's go out. The beautiful woman in white sighed and said to herself, if I give Jiqing 300 years, no, 200 years, the Tenjin Temple will definitely produce a celestial immortal. Time waits for no man. The importance of a celestial immortal was something the beautiful woman in white couldn't refuse. Ling Wuji was very proud. He would be able to marry Lin Jiqing soon. His future would be glorious. Lin Jiqing is coming out. Ling Wuji's eyes turned. A palanquin flew out of the Tenjin Temple. There were 18 emperors carrying the palanquin. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to use emperors to carry the palanquin. The pride of emperors couldn't be tarnished. The emperors of the Tenjin Temple were very sincere. They were all core disciples of the Tenjin Temple. They knew secrets that ordinary disciples didn't know. They were willing to carry the palanquin. Ling Wuji walked up to the palanquin. He lifted the curtains and made a please gesture. When he saw Lin Jiqing dressed up as a bride, Ling Wuji was stunned. Lin Jiqing walked out of the palanquin. She stood on the empty platform of the palanquin and stood shoulder to shoulder with Ling Wuji. At this moment, they looked like a golden couple. The man was handsome and the woman was beautiful. They were like fairies that had descended from the heavens. They are indeed a couple. This is too exciting. Only a genius like Ling Wuji is worthy of Senior Sister Lin. Of course, Senior Sister Lin is also a third tribulation loose immortal. Genius disciples are not worthy of her. Only people like Ling Wuji are worthy of her. For some people, Ling Wuji's strength made them feel helpless. Lin Jiqing was the saintess of the Tenjin Temple. Many genius disciples wanted to marry her. However, their strength was weak in front of Ling Wuji. The third tribulation, fighting strength, was a big threshold. It was not easy to cross. First tribulation loose immortals and second tribulation loose immortals seemed very powerful. However, if they fought with Ling Wuji, they would be no match for him at all. Grand Palace, Lord Son of Heaven, is here to witness the marriage. When the Son of Heaven appeared, it caused another round of exclamations. The Palace Lord of the Tenjin Temple was here to witness the marriage. This was a supreme honor. In the entire Tenjin Temple, only Lin Jiqing could receive this honor. When the Son of Heaven appeared, everyone nodded to show their goodwill. After all, the Son of Heaven had the fighting strength of a sixth tribulation loose immortal. However, no one knew how powerful his fighting strength was. Everyone was very polite to the Son of Heaven. They could not afford to offend such a big shot. The Son of Heaven also nodded to them one by one. Lin Jiqing and Ling Wuji also appeared in front of Tian Shenxi. In a while, Tian Shenxi would be the witness of their marriage, witnessing the love between the two of them. Even though Lin Jiqing had taken another step forward and killed everything, even the memory in the depths of her mind had sealed itself, Lin Jiqing was still able to control herself. However, the more it was so, the more Lin Jiqing seemed to lack something in her heart. It's been 10 years. The only thing worth remembering should be that scene that I can never forget. The sealed memory of Lin Jiqing was unlocked again. Scenes appeared in front of her. Lin Jiqing, I will look for you. You will always be my woman. When that stubborn young man left heroic words to her, time flew. 10 years had passed. That man had never appeared. Lin Jiqing, you still can't forget that scene. You can't make your heart perfect. Lin Jiqing laughed at herself. It's been 10 years. Maybe today I can understand everything. The Son of Heaven looked at the golden couple of Ling Wuji and Lin Jiqing and seemed to remember something. Beautiful scenery, let's begin. First bow to heaven and earth. The voice of the Son of Heaven spread throughout the Tenjin Temple. Lin Jiqing and Ling Wuji turned around and bowed to heaven and earth. Second bow to the parents. The parents were bowing to the Son of Heaven. Among the people present, the Son of Heaven was the only one who was qualified for them to bow to. Everything was in line with the etiquette. Third bow to each other. Ling Wuji and Lin Jiqing stood in front of each other. As long as they bowed to each other, they would be Taoist companions under the witness of tens of thousands of people. Ling Wuji couldn't wait to end it, so that he could complete the activation of his bloodline. Lin Jiqing sighed faintly. All the waiting was over. She could start again. Let the past go with the wind. The celestial immortal Tao would be her eternal pursuit. What happened in the past had always left an indelible mark in Lin Jiqing's heart. Until now, with this last bow, it was truly sealed in her sea of consciousness, becoming a dust of the past. Roar! Just as Lin Jiqing was about to bow for the last time and end the waiting 10 years ago, an unceasing roar reverberated in the sky above the heavenly deity palace. Immediately after, everyone saw a group of colorful figures moving with the wind from the periphery of the heavenly deity palace. Colorful hoofing. Isn't that the colorful hoofing at the peak of Imperial Realm? What's going on? Is it a beast tide? When everyone recognized the multicolored light, they couldn't help but be shocked, and they couldn't help but be secretly on guard. Chapter 5:25. Everyone in the square didn't understand what was going on. The arrival of the multicolored hoofing was inexplicable. The Grand Palace Master, the Son of Heaven, also looked unhappy. More importantly, the multicolored hoofing was coming to the Tenjin Temple. Lin Jiqing, who was about to speak, also stopped. It was morning, and the multicolored hoofing gathered together like a rainbow. It was impossible not to attract attention. Miss Lin, did you see that? Even God is looking after us. Ling Wuji shamelessly attributed this scene to himself. Apart from this reason, there seemed to be no other reason. However, as soon as Ling Wuji's words fell, someone in the square exclaimed, "Everyone, look, there's someone up there!" With this exclamation, everyone's eyes fell on the black-robed man standing on the multicolored hoofing. Who is that guy? How can he drive away so many multicolored hoofing? Could he be Ling Wuji's friend? What a romantic scene! The multicolored hoofing in the sky formed a rainbow. For girls who liked beauty, this scene was full of romantic atmosphere, and almost everyone who saw it loved it. Ling Wuji was also surprised, but he didn't think about it. It must be a gift from his friend, and it was quite a good gift. The elders of the Tenjin Temple looked relieved. The scene that they were most worried about did not happen. If it was really the invasion of the multicolored hoofing, it would definitely be a big trouble. Maybe today's wedding banquet would be full of blood. Only Lin Jiqing looked at the black-robed man. She didn't know why her heart trembled, and a trace of suspicion flashed in her eyes. "Who are you?" The elders of the Tenjin Temple flew up. Clatter! The original flock of 5-colored fire phoenixes flew out and lined up from left to right, forming a 5-colored rainbow of a certain height. What a beautiful rainbow! That guy is too talented. He can even do this kind of thing. Young masterling's gift is truly the best. A rainbow of 5 colors hovered in the sky. At the same time, the black-robed man also appeared on the rainbow. "Thank you, Masterling." The group of elders loved this gift very much. Ling Wuji smiled and said, "It's nothing. These are my friend's worries. I was also shocked by them." However, as soon as Ling Wuji smiled, the black-robed man spoke. "Lin Jiqing, do you still remember what I said to you 10 years ago? Today I'm here. I've grown strong enough. I'm no longer the powerless guy in your eyes. Uproar. There was an uproar below. No one had thought that things would develop in such a way. It was truly beyond imagination. Lin Jiqing's delicate body trembled. She stared blankly at the black-robed man on the rainbow, and the stubborn young man of the past appeared in her mind again. Ling Wuji's face suddenly turned gloomy. He stared at the black-robed man in the sky, unable to digest the news for a while. Lin Jiqing, who is he? The black-robed man who appeared here was none other than Lin Fei, who had been away for a month. I'm Lin Jiqing's man. Lin Fei said loudly, Lin Jiqing is my woman. No one can take her away from me. If what he had said before was already shocking enough, then when he said this, everyone was dumbfounded. The saintess of the Tenjin Temple had a man outside? Unbelievable. It was really unbelievable. No one could imagine how such a thing could happen. The group of elders of the Tenjin Temple were dumbfounded. The black-robed man who drove away the rainbow hoofing could say such shocking words. The dignified saintess of the Tenjin Temple had a man outside? The various forces also had different thoughts after hearing those words. First of all, the royal family. The royal family was unwilling from the bottom of their hearts. The alliance between the Tenjin Temple and the Empire of Darkness would be a great hindrance to their control over the situation. However, the royal family could not stop the alliance between the Tenjin Temple and the Empire of Darkness, even though they were unwilling. They could only watch helplessly as the two forces united. However, when the black-robed man appeared and said such shocking words, the members of the imperial clan all began to laugh. They were all laughing happily. This man came at the right time. No matter how the Tenjin Temple explains, Lin Jiqing can't hide the fact that she has hooked up with a man outside. Ling Wuji is the kind of person who cares about his reputation. I'm afraid it will be a big problem for the Tenjin Temple and the Empire of Darkness to unite. God is really helping me. Fortunately, I came today. Otherwise, I would have missed a good show. Today's wedding was attended by the third prince of the Shinwei Empire. Seeing this, the third prince almost wanted to thank the mysterious black-robed man. You really did me a big favor. I couldn't find a chance to stop it, but you came to help me. Now I don't need to do anything. With Ling Wuji's character, he will definitely be suspicious. It was unknown whether or not today's wedding could continue. No one knew what would happen when the time came. Which madman dares to slander the saintess? The law enforcement elders shouted, Hurry up and arrest him! The elders of the Tenjin Temple reacted quickly. If today's matter was not handled well, the alliance between the Tenjin Temple and the Empire of Darkness would be unknown. After the Heavenly God Palace reacted, they immediately gained the upper hand by making a show of strength. No matter who the other party was, in such a big matter, they had to suppress the other party first. As for whether the others believed it or not, they had no choice. They had ways to deal with the black-robed man. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The law enforcement team of the Tenjin Temple, who was originally in charge of guarding, rushed forward in 3 teams, ready to capture the other party and lock him up first. They would deal with him later. Lie down! A calm voice came from the black-robed man. The law enforcement disciples who rushed forward stopped in midair like stones falling. In an instant, they were hypnotized and lost their ability to fight. Everyone in the Tenjin Temple's expression darkened. This black-robed man was not simple. He hypnotized all of them in one move. Such strength was beyond their expectations. To be able to become a law enforcement disciple of the Tenjin Temple, his strength was at least at the mystique venerable rank or sage rank. The team that led them was at least an imperial rank. But right now, a few teams had been hypnotized just like that. The people of the Tenjin Temple felt as if the other party had slapped them in the face, making them dizzy. This black-robed man is so strong. Imperial rank strength. He must be an imperial rank powerhouse. The people in the square exclaimed. Just this move alone shocked them. This black-robed man came with a body full of strength. "Madman, don't be so insolent." The law enforcement elder of the Tenjin temple flew up into the sky. With a flip of his hand, a huge black pagoda suddenly appeared above the black-robed man and turned into a huge pagoda. God Suppression Pagoda. This is the God Suppression Pagoda, the arcane heavenly spiritual treasure of the Tenjin temple. It forms a special space inside that can suppress everything. The law enforcement elder is here. This black-robed man is in trouble. He will be suppressed soon. The huge God Suppression Pagoda made everyone in the square feel a huge, invisible pressure. It was as if they would be suppressed at any time and never see the light of day again. With such a strong blow, even an imperial rank powerhouse would be suppressed, let alone the law enforcement elder himself. Whoosh! A black sword gleam flashed by, and the huge God Suppression Pagoda was sent flying by the sword. The innate suppression that shrouded the other party disappeared without a trace. One sword strike broke the suppression of the God Suppression Pagoda. Everyone was dumbfounded. Even the law enforcement elder could not suppress this black-robed man. What kind of man did Lin Jiqing, the saintess, meet outside? Now they finally understood why this black-robed man was so bold. He dared to come to the Tenjin temple openly. He really had the confidence. Grand Palace Master, do you want them to take action again? The beautiful woman in white was obviously shocked. Needless to say, the latter sentence of, "If this continues, today's wedding," everyone knew what it meant. The Son of Heaven, the Grand Palace Master, could suppress the other party, but if he did it himself, the nature would be completely different. He would be suspected of bullying the weak. If this was spread, he would probably be laughed at to death. Ling Wuji will naturally take action, the Son of Heaven said lightly. Ling Wuji? At this time, the most unhappy person was Ling Wuji, the man who was about to marry the saintess Lin Jiqing. Who are you? Don't hide. Ling Wuji revealed a crazy murderous intent. A man who dared to call himself Lin Jiqing. An arrogant person like Ling Wuji. It would be abnormal if he didn't reveal his murderous intent. You should leave. You shouldn't have come. Lin Jiqing never expected that the man who had been missing would come to the Tenjin temple and say such overbearing words on such an occasion. Ling Wuji's murderous intent intensified. He took a step forward and the sky rumbled. The murderous intent filled the air. No matter who you are, if you dare to touch my woman, I will kill you, and I will kill you in front of everyone. In public, Ling Wuji couldn't say anything to Lin Jiqing. All his anger was released on the black-robed man. The black-robed man must die. If he didn't die, the hatred in his heart wouldn't be appeased. After killing this man, Ling Wuji would deal with Lin Jiqing. On this occasion, he still had to give her face. After that, Ling Wuji still needed an explanation from the Tenjin temple. Why would the pure and clean saintess have a man? Ling Wuji felt as if he had been cuckolded. The future heir of the Empire of Darkness was cuckolded. He was very angry, very angry. This black-robed man must die, and he must grind his bones into ashes to vent his hatred. Otherwise, those ambitious brothers of the Empire of Darkness would definitely jump out and make things difficult for him. Divine Dark Fist. Without any explanation, Ling Wuji threw a punch in the air. With the strength of a 3 tribulation scattered immortal, he instantly threw over 10,000 punches, completely sealing the area where the black-robed man was. Chapter 526. What a terrifying combat aura! So this is the combat strength of a 3 tribulation scattered celestial? He's too powerful. Young Masterling's combat aura alone can kill an emperor like me. No wonder young Master Ling Wuji can surpass so many combat geniuses. With such combat strength, I'm afraid that the black-robed man will be killed this time. Even I can't withstand the combat aura of a 3 tribulation scattered celestial, let alone a guy with the strength of an emperor. When Ling Wuji attacked with a domineering fist art, everyone sensed a ferocious aura. It was an aura that wanted to kill everyone. At this moment, the Emperor's first tribulation scattered celestials and second tribulation scattered celestials felt powerless when facing the attack of a three tribulation scattered celestial like Ling Wuji. Especially under such a domineering fist art, the black-robed man who was only an emperor would definitely be killed by the tens of thousands of punches. A three tribulation scattered celestial was attacking. No one had ever survived the attack of a three tribulation scattered celestial, especially when Ling Wuji attacked with hatred. He didn't care about the black-robed man's strength or background. Domineering. Extremely domineering. Only Ling Wuji could be so domineering. With a powerful background and the combat strength of a three tribulation scattered celestial, he was totally qualified to be domineering. Ling Wuji attacked with a domineering fist art, intending to kill the black-robed man. A white figure floated over and stood in front of the black-robed man. She raised her jade-like hand and blocked the ferocious and domineering fist art. The Holy Virgin has made her move. It seems that the black-robed man is really the Holy Virgin's man. Lin Jiqing is so powerful. She blocked Ling Wuji's attack so easily. No wonder he has the combat strength of a three tribulation scattered celestial. Only Lin Jiqing can block this kind of attack so easily. If she fought alone, she would definitely die. The fact that Lin Jiqing blocked Ling Wuji's attack gave a new meaning to this matter. If Ling Wuji killed the black-robed man and Lin Jiqing didn't do anything, no one would believe it. After all, such a thing could be a setup to slander Lin Jiqing and sabotage the cooperation between the Tenjin Temple and the Empire of Darkness. But now, Lin Jiqing had personally blocked the fatal attack. One could only imagine the significance of this. You still disappoint me. Ling Wuji looked at Lin Jiqing with anger flickering in his eyes. Ling Wuji had a bellyful of anger towards this man who had appeared out of nowhere. Since they were in the Tenjin Temple, they didn't do anything to Lin Jiqing. For the sake of a man, Lin Jiqing had blocked his fatal attack. Ling Wuji was completely disappointed. If Lin Jiqing didn't do anything, this man would definitely die. The others wouldn't do anything unless they wanted to go against the Tenjin Temple and the Empire of Darkness. This situation wouldn't happen. They couldn't afford to offend them. One mistake would result in the extinction of their entire family. Lin Jiqing said calmly, "Everything is karma. Since he has appeared, I won't let you kill him." She then turned around and looked at the face beneath the cloak, which was slightly weathered by the vicissitudes of time. "You really came." Lin Fei raised his head and saw the familiar face again. "I haven't forgotten what I said in the past. Our union is karma. So, you will be my woman forever. No matter where you go, you will be my woman. Fortunately, I'm not too late." Lin Jiqing's heart trembled. "But you shouldn't have come. You really shouldn't have come. Since you are my woman, I won't allow you to be someone else's woman because your man is selfish." Lin Fei said, "If I didn't dare to come because of a little danger, I wouldn't be worthy of being your man. This 5-colored rainbow is my gift to you." Lin Fei pointed at the 5-colored rainbow beneath him. Lin Jiqing had never thought that someone would give her a rainbow. Now that the two of them were standing on the rainbow, a feeling that she had never felt before rose in her heart. "I like this gift very much." Lin Jiqing revealed a smile that could topple a nation. "It's good that you like it." Lin Fei smiled. "If I wasn't in a hurry, I would give you a rainbow, a real rainbow." Ling Wuji flew into a rage, and his killing intent surged. These two were flirting right in front of him. "Lin Jiqing, if you give up on this man, I'll let bygones be bygones. If you don't, I'll kill him myself. I'll wipe out his entire clan." Lin Fei was about to speak, but Lin Jiqing blocked in front of him. "Young masterling, as long as you don't kill him, I can become your wife. You have to swear to the heavenly Tao that if you dare to kill him, I will be struck by lightning and die a horrible death." Lin Jiqing couldn't watch Lin Fei be killed by Ling Wuji. From the moment she appeared in front of him, she knew that Lin Fei's strength had reached the imperial realm. This was an achievement that ordinary people couldn't achieve. If she didn't encounter Ling Wuji, who had the battle prowess of a third tribulation scattered immortal, Lin Jiqing wouldn't have to worry. However, her opponent was Ling Wuji, who had the battle prowess of a third tribulation scattered immortal. Furthermore, he had the backing of the Empire of Darkness. It would be easy for him to kill Lin Fei. In a little more than 10 years, Lin Fei advanced to the imperial realm from a mystic cultivator. Lin Jiqing wouldn't allow anyone to harm Lin Fei. Impossible, Ling Wuji roared. Since I have spoken, he must die. Lin Jiqing's tone was cold. If you want to kill him, then kill me first. I won't allow you to kill him. Lin Fei, who was behind, felt warmth in his heart. Lin Jiqing was still the imperial realm's daughter. Under her calmness, her arrogance had never changed. Jiqing, today is your wedding day. Don't do anything stupid. The white-robed beauty flew over with a conflicted expression on her face. Since 10 years ago, the white-robed beauty noticed that her disciple had developed a different kind of emotion. Although it wasn't very obvious, she could still feel it. Back then, she didn't think much of it, as she thought that she wasn't used to going out for training. If she had investigated seriously back then, the white-robed beauty believed that today's scene wouldn't have happened. As such, she didn't know what to do now. Lin Jiqing faced her master. Master, I don't want him to die. Don't force me. As long as young Masterling makes a heaven's oath, I will agree to be his wife. Ling Wuji was bent on killing Lin Fei. Lin Jiqing could only use this method to help Lin Fei. Under the heaven's oath, Ling Wuji wouldn't dare to make a move. If he made a move, he would definitely die under the heaven's oath. This was the only thing Lin Jiqing could do. It had been 10 years. Being able to see that stubborn little man again, Lin Jiqing was satisfied. The white-robed beauty really couldn't do anything to Lin Jiqing. Her sharp gaze landed on the black-robed man. You're really capable. You've ruined such a good thing. If you're a man, I advise you to leave. Don't affect Lin Jiqing anymore. Lin Fei was very depressed. Since when did I become the weak one? That was because you guys didn't give me a chance to perform. I respect you as Lin Jiqing's master. Otherwise, I will definitely teach you a lesson. Lin Fei had a bad temper. Lin Jiqing is my woman. She will be my woman for life. As a master, you don't fight for your disciple. Instead, you say such words. I really wonder how you're a master. The white-robed beauty was furious. How dare you? Don't think that I won't dare to make a move. Lin Jiqing must have been used by you. I want to see how powerful you are. Whoosh! The white-robed beauty strode over. She stretched out her hand, and a sword intent pierced through the air. A powerful sword intent swept over. She wanted Lin Jiqing to make a choice. Man, master, which one should she choose? Lin Jiqing was in pain. She didn't know how to choose. A master who had raised her up. A man who was her man. A man who fought for her. Pooh! Lin Jiqing spurted out a mouthful of blood. Her chest was pierced by the sword. She gave up resisting. Jiqing! The white-robed beauty had a face of regret. Why are you so stupid? Master has raised this disciple. How would this disciple dare to make a move against Master? I only beg Master to let him go. I'm willing to promise you anything. Lin Jiqing's face turned pale. Lin Fei was unhappy. He thought that Lin Jiqing would block it. He didn't expect her to give up. He slapped on the wound. Boundless True Origin was activated. Silly girl, since your man dares to come, I won't be bothered by such trivial trouble. Lin Fei hugged Lin Jiqing. His eyes were filled with tenderness. I will let you know that your man is no longer the same as before. Boom! The True Origin that was originally sealed soared into the sky. A huge pressure kept rising. First tribulation, scattered immortal. Second tribulation, scattered immortal. third tribulation, scattered immortal. Fourth tribulation, scattered immortal. When his aura rushed to the early stage fourth tribulation, scattered immortal. Lin Fei hugged Lin Jiqing like an immortal god of war. Oh my god, Lin Jiqing's man actually has the combat strength of a fourth tribulation, scattered immortal. I must be mistaken. Since when did another genius appear in the continent? Fourth tribulation, scattered immortal. Another monstrous genius. A monstrous genius with the combat strength of a fourth tribulation, scattered immortal. The crowd in the square could fit a duck egg. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Ling Wuji, who had the combat strength of a third tribulation, scattered immortal, was powerful enough and terrifying enough. Now, another monstrous genius with the combat strength of a fourth tribulation, scattered immortal, had appeared. It seemed like heaven was playing a big joke on them. Those who were looking down on Lin Fan just now were dumbfounded. They were so scared that they didn't dare to say a word. Since when did a fourth tribulation, scattered immortal, become a big carrot? The aura of a fourth tribulation bodiless immortal caused Ling Wuji to take a step back. His eyes were filled with fear, but more than that, anger that he could not vent. A fourth tribulation, scattered immortal? Impossible. I am the genius of the younger generation. A fourth tribulation, scattered immortal, even if he was just at the early stage, made Ling Wuji panic. A person who he could kill casually had become stronger than him in the blink of an eye. An ant that could kill him at any time dared to show off in front of him. Chapter 5:27. The combat power of a four-tribulation loose immortal immediately set off a huge counterattack. This kind of unexpected change was completely beyond everyone's imagination. A guy who was thought to have the strength of an emperor had the combat power of a four-tribulation loose immortal in the blink of an eye. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they definitely wouldn't have believed it. This kind of thing could happen in front of them. As for the people in the Tenjin Temple, they were all stunned at this moment. For example, the law-enforcing patriarch who just attacked was dejected. He had to suppress a guy with the combat power of a four-tribulation loose immortal. How could he suppress a guy like that? All the disciples in the Tenjin Temple were greatly shocked because Lin Jiqing found a man with the combat power of a four-tribulation loose immortal. Originally, many junior sisters were jealous of Lin Jiqing marrying Ling Wuji. When Lin Jiqing found a man, they couldn't help but gloat. But in the blink of an eye, this kind of complacency disappeared and was replaced by deep jealousy. Why were all the good men in the world related to Lin Jiqing? Ling Wuji, who had the combat power of a three-tribulation loose immortal, was the best in the eyes of women, no matter his identity or background. But in the blink of an eye, there was a more domineering one. A man with the strength of a four-tribulation loose immortal undoubtedly made them feel that he was unattainable. You have the strength." Lin Jiqing gasped, and her eyes were very complicated. Was this still the little man from before? Lin Jiqing was already very surprised about the strength of an emperor. She knew Lin Fei's background very well. A person from a small dynasty. If he didn't have any opportunities, how could he cultivate to the level of a Xianxian immortal? Xianling and Xuanzong were already very amazing. Lin Jiqing really didn't dare to imagine the strength of a four-tribulation loose immortal. He reached this level in a little more than 10 years. Lin Jiqing was known as the blessed daughter of heaven, but she felt inferior. Tenjin Temple was rich in resources, and there were loose immortal masters in charge. It was natural that Lin Jiqing could reach this level. For Lin Fei to reach this level of strength, there were too many unforeseen circumstances, too many accidents, or the tempering of life and death experiences that constantly stimulated his potential. Idiot! If your man didn't have any capital, he wouldn't have dared to step into the Tenjin Temple. Lin Fei laughed. Your man never fights a battle that he isn't sure of. After a month of cultivation, Lin Fei finally managed to break through. He had no idea how many sages, demon emperors and loose immortals he had refined to reach his current level. Rumble, just as everyone was guessing what would happen next, two teams of fully armed, black-robed warriors walked out of the void. They're from the Templars' law enforcement team. What's going on? Weren't they always in seclusion? Why are they here today? Could it be that the Templars' law enforcement team is going to enforce the law? Who are you arresting? When the two Templar enforcers appeared, everyone felt as if their brains weren't enough. Why did everything come together? Son of Heaven had a complicated expression. For such a thing to happen at a wedding, a person who nurtured a 4 tribulations scattered celestial definitely came from a large sect. Suppress the other party? That was nonsense. The Tenjin Temple was comparable, but it was between a first-grade sect and a second-grade sect. But when the Templar enforcers appeared, Son of Heaven seemed to see hope. He used the Templar Hall's influence to take the black-robed man away or scare him away. Son of Heaven really didn't want to make a move. He was very wary of the other party. Lord Supervisor. When the two Templar enforcers appeared in front of Lin Fei and called out the Lord Supervisor, one could imagine how shocked everyone was. He's Lin Fei, the supervisor of the Templar Hall in the Empire. I thought Ling Wuji was awesome, but this guy is just as awesome. The supervisor of the Templar Hall. Even Ling Wuji wouldn't dare to make a move. The Templar Hall is a top faction. If Ling Wuji had the upper hand before, Lin Fei's appearance at this moment was like a rising sun. It was impossible not to pay attention to him. You're the new Lord Supervisor. The beautiful woman in white cried out involuntarily, her hands and feet weak. The beautiful woman in white was already shocked by the strength of a 4th tribulation scattered immortal. She was only a 3rd tribulation scattered immortal, and the other party was 1 realm higher than her. Now, another prominent position had appeared. Even if the Tenjin Temple wanted to do something, they wouldn't dare to do it in front of Lin Fei. They really couldn't afford to offend a top faction like the Templar Hall, especially when Lin Fei showed his strength. Everyone knew that the Lord Supervisor this time was extremely powerful. The third prince, who had been watching the show from below, frowned. This is bad. How could this be? The supervisor, who hasn't come out for a month, have a relationship with the Tenjin Temple. As a member of the imperial family, when Lin Fei's identity was revealed, he realized that the situation was not good. Previously, he was very happy that the Tenjin Temple and the Empire of Darkness couldn't cooperate. But in the blink of an eye, the unforeseen event had deeply affected him. The imperial family couldn't interfere with the cooperation between the Tenjin Temple and the Templar Hall. This wasn't a good thing, and seemed to be worse and more troublesome than the cooperation between the Tenjin Temple and the Empire of Darkness. It seems that the Empire has a powerful enemy this time. The third prince had a headache. Lin Jiqing was still worried that the Grand Palace Master would make a move. Her man had another terrifying identity, the supervisor of the Templar Hall, a person that even the Tenjin Temple didn't dare to offend. At this moment, Lin Jiqing was finally relieved. Her man had given her an unprecedented shock. Lin Fei was very proud. This was to reduce the trouble, so he arranged the law enforcement team. It was to tell the big and small forces in the Divine Might Empire that he, Lin Fei, wasn't so easy to fool. At the same time, he would establish a strong impression in their hearts. Greetings to the supervisor. Facing Lin Fei's identity, the Son of Heaven, the Grand Palace Master, had no choice but to lower his pride. The others also followed suit. For a moment, the situation was one-sided. Ling Wuji's face was gloomy, and he felt as if the sky had fallen. All his glory and dazzling halo had been snatched away by a person called Lin Fei. At this time, who would still remember him? Strength? He was only a 3rd tribulation loose immortal, and the other party was a 4th tribulation loose immortal, 1 whole realm higher than him. Background? He was the young master of the Empire of Darkness and could inherit the position in the future. The other party was the supervisor of the Templar Hall, and his power and reputation were out there. so no one dared to underestimate him. This Lin Fei really deserves to die. Ling Wuji cursed in his heart. Why did this kind of thing happen to him? He didn't come earlier or later, but he just had to come at this time. Lin Fei originally didn't want to use the banner of the Templar Hall, but then he thought that if he didn't want this benefit, it would be a waste, so this scene happened. Grand Palace Master, I came rashly, but I will definitely come to apologize in the future. After Lin Fei showed his identity, he immediately pointed out his shortcomings, so as not to leave a bad impression of him snatching the bride. After all, 1 spread to 10, and 10 spread to 100, and rumors were very powerful. Son of Heaven laughed. Supervisor Lin, what's wrong? The one who should be guilty is our Tenjin Temple, and we almost did something that we regret. We should be the ones apologizing to Supervisor Lin. At this point, Son of Heaven had to make a choice. Choose the Empire of Darkness or the Templar Hall? The answer was obvious. Son of Heaven chose the Templar Hall, the top power in the continent. Man, return the thing just now to young Masterling. Son of Heaven drew the line very quickly, and the only thing he was thinking about now was how to salvage the situation. If Supervisor Lin held a grudge against the Tenjin Temple, Son of Heaven would really vomit blood. Who knew that such a small matter would cause such a big trouble? And he unknowingly offended Supervisor Lin. Son of Heaven really didn't dare to offend him. If the Templar Hall and the Divine Might Empire formed an alliance, that would be the biggest trouble. Ling Wuji's expression was very, very ugly. He came here to get married, and his future path to Heaven Immortal was far away from him with the appearance of Lin Fei. Grand Palace Master, what do you mean by this? Ling Wuji's face was stiff. He didn't expect things to reach this point. Son of Heaven said, Young Masterling, this matter is our fault. Now that Jiqing's man is here, it was a misunderstanding. As for the losses caused to you, our Tenjin Temple will compensate you. Compensate? Ling Wuji was about to explode in anger. Was his future path to Heaven Immortal something you can compensate for? What are you going to compensate me with? Money? Between Lin Fei and Ling Wuji, Son of Heaven chose the former Lin Fei, officially cutting ties with Ling Wuji, and also proving that what happened before was a misunderstanding. The Tenjin Temple elders immediately returned the item, and it could be considered as returning it to its rightful owner. The item was good, and Son of Heaven couldn't resist the temptation, but between the Empire of Darkness and the Templar Hall, they would rather choose the latter. In comparison, they didn't lose much now, and their future gains would definitely be better than now. To use the simplest example, if Lin Jiqing and Lin Fei were together, the first to not dare to act rashly was the imperial family. Divine Might Empire was very powerful, but in front of the Templar Hall, they didn't dare to not give face. Wait. Just as the Tenjin Temple elders were about to return the betrothal gifts to Ling Wuji, Lin Fei spoke up to stop them. Ling Wuji said, Inspector Lin, what are you trying to do? Lin Fei snorted. You know that I'm Inspector Lin? I thought you didn't. In front of everyone, you wanted to kill me. This is a conspiracy, an assassination attempt. Surround him. Whoosh whoosh. The disciples of the law enforcement team had been suppressing a bellyful of anger for a long time, and it was finally time to release it. You're spouting nonsense. Ling Wuji's eyebrows twitched, and he resisted the urge to attack. He glared at Lin Fei. This guy was more difficult to deal with than expected. I'm spouting nonsense? Everyone can testify. Lin Fei sneered. I knew it. You wanted to assassinate an inspector. According to the rules of the Templar Hall, people like you must be killed on the spot as a warning to others. We can testify that young Masterling once tried to kill Inspector Lin. I can testify as well. The people below said one sentence after another. Ling Wuji wanted to slap all of them to death. Damn it, they were deliberately making things difficult for him. The charge of trying to assassinate an inspector could not be established no matter what. Once that happened, the other party would have a reason to kill him at any time. The other party was a 4 tribulations scattered immortal, while he was a 3 tribulations scattered immortal. In the long run, he would be the one at a disadvantage. The other party was clearly determined to kill him on the spot and had the intention to kill him. Ling Wuji had never seen such a shameless person. He used the Templar Hall to suppress him and then used this opportunity to deal with him. Lin Fei, what are you trying to do? Ling Wuji used his consciousness to send a voice transmission. He had no choice but to lower his head. In fact, he was suppressing his anger. He was afraid that once he killed the law enforcement team, the other party would deal with him. Lin Fei could suppress the other party. That would be too boring. It was satisfying, but it was completely displeasing. How could it be more satisfying than seeing the other party lower his head with a sullen face? Nothing. I just want to kill you, Lin Fei said calmly. Let's not beat around the bush. What will it take for you to let me go? Ling Wuji said angrily. Lin Fei knew that this guy was on the verge of anger. He also knew when to stop. Otherwise, it would be out of the script. I can let you go, as long as you compensate me for my loss just now. You're so black-hearted. Aren't you worried about keeping it in? Ling Wuji immediately understood that the other party wanted to take the betrothal gift for himself. No wonder he put such a big label on him first. He was deliberately trying to make him lower his head. Assassinating an inspector was a sensational matter. The Templar Hall would never ignore such matters. When the time came, there would be a large-scale encirclement and suppression. I'm not black-hearted, Lin Fei said. Do you think there's no price to pay for assassinating an inspector? I'll tell you the truth. Leave the things behind, and I'll let you go. Otherwise, I'll destroy you. I believe no one will dare to come after me. Ling Wuji had no choice. He could only blame himself. He had accidentally fallen into the other party's trap and became the ironclad evidence in everyone's eyes. You win. I admit defeat this time. Can we go now? Ling Wuji's face darkened. When I go back, I'll kill Lin Fei no matter what. Lin Fei had already predicted that the other party would lower his head, so there was no need to take back the things he brought. Go? You seem to have forgotten something. Lin Fei said calmly. You keep blaspheming my woman. Don't you think you should compensate me? Ling Wuji had never seen such a black-hearted person. Swallowing such a large sum of betrothal gifts was already too much. He didn't expect that he would open his mouth to trap him. You're forcing me. Ling Wuji glared at him angrily. Lin Fei laughed. I've never forced you. It's just your wishful thinking. Bullshit wishful thinking. Ling Wuji cursed. Wasn't it obvious that he wanted to bleed? But he couldn't resist. Perhaps the other party was waiting for him to resist. In the sky, Ling Wuji and Lin Fei didn't say a word. But everyone knew that the two were communicating. They just didn't want others to know. Everyone knew that Ling Wuji had lost and was completely suppressed by Lin Fei. Even the young master of the Empire of Darkness didn't dare to act recklessly on the crime of assassinating an inspector. Otherwise, it would be equivalent to giving the other party a chance to act. Chapter 5:28. The Tenjin Temple Saintess was getting married. Everyone thought of the beginning, but they couldn't imagine the ending. The Saint Hall supervisor was the Saintess's man, yet he defeated Ling Wuji, a favored son of heaven. This was no less than a joke played by the heavens. Unfortunately, this joke wasn't funny at all. In terms of influence and background, the two of them weren't on the same level. Although the two hadn't fought before, everyone was undoubtedly optimistic about Lin Fei. Lin Fei didn't make a move. He suppressed Ling Wuji with just a few words, and he had to lower his noble head. Some people were happy about this result, while others were sad. The Tenjin Temple and the Saint Hall had contacted each other, and the situation was quite bad. When Ling Wuji returned, the others couldn't sit still anymore. They all arranged for their subordinates to go back first and report the news. The supervisor, who hadn't appeared for a month, appeared again and caused such a disturbance. Undoubtedly, everyone's impression of Lin Fei had improved. Lin Fei wasn't easy to deal with. Saint's Palace. The Tenjin Temple was busy entertaining the various forces. I didn't expect that I would have the chance to see you again in this life. You have become stronger, more agile, and more domineering than before. Lin Jiqing looked at Lin Fei. As time passed, the little man was still the same as before, and he also became a bit more domineering. Lin Fei and Lin Jiqing stood by the lake. They put aside the big shots of the various forces outside and whispered to each other. A man should be domineering. Lin Fei smiled and said, Ling Wuji is lucky that he didn't make a move. If he did, I would kill him in front of him. The Empire of Darkness can't do anything to me. As a fourth tribulation scattered a mortal, Lin Fei could easily kill Ling Wuji. Lin Jiqing wasn't an ordinary woman. She was the goddess of the Tenjin Temple. You offended the Empire of Darkness for me. Ling Wuji is narrow-minded and is destined to be invincible against you. The royal family will also see you as a potential enemy. Say no more. Lin Fei interrupted Lin Jiqing. You're my woman. No matter who it is, if they dare to make me their enemy, I'll kill them. If one isn't enough, I'll kill 100 of them to scare them out of their wits. If your Grand Palace Master makes a move today, I'll still kill him without hesitation. Lin Fei had become much more domineering after imbuing it with divine might. If it was in the past, he would not have dared to have such thoughts. After the divinity entered his body, Lin Fei was affected by it to a certain extent. Coupled with the fact that he was practicing the killing sword technique, he had a vague idea of killing all those who shared the same thoughts. Lin Jiqing said faintly, I originally thought that my man would be a god's favored one. I never thought that we would have karma between us that year. Lin Fei laughed. That year I was really insignificant. However, for you, even if I have to suffer untold hardships, I will still find you, because you're the first woman in my life. He held Lin Jiqing's soft, lily-white hands and said with a firm gaze, From now on, I'll take care of you and protect you. No one can take you away from me. Are you willing to be my woman? Lin Fei looked at Lin Jiqing affectionately. I'm willing to be your woman. We'll be together forever. Lin Jiqing nodded. That's great. Lin Fei hugged Lin Jiqing and kissed her hard. That year I didn't dare to kiss you. Today, I can finally kiss you openly. Lin Jiqing had always been arrogant. Even the things that happened in the past were sealed in her memory. Being kissed in front of her, Lin Jiqing blushed like a peach blossom and felt shy. The two sat down and talked about their experiences over the years. Most importantly, Lin Jiqing was listening and Lin Fei was talking. Every time they encountered danger, Lin Jiqing would hold Lin Fei's hands tightly. Lin Jiqing never thought that her man had experienced so many trials. It could be said that he walked out of the trials of life and death. Finally, he had the strength he had today. She knew better than anyone else that the trials of life and death were easy to say. One careless mistake could lead to death. Countless disciples of Tenjin Temple had died in the trials of life and death. The trials of life and death could bring out endless potential in desperate situations. Lin Fei had been a small, profound practitioner at the beginning, but he had climbed all the way to possess terrifying combat power. It was unknown how many trials of life and death he had experienced. Lin Jiqing was deeply moved. Lin Jiqing was not a person who would give her feelings easily. Once she gave her feelings, she would treat it sincerely. Lin Fei, Master, and Tenjin Temple did not deliberately make things difficult for me. I did all of this voluntarily. Please don't blame them, okay? Lin Jiqing pleaded for Tenjin Temple. In the beginning, Lin Fei might be very angry, but it was all in the past after that. Since you have spoken, I will definitely not make things difficult for them. It is wrong of your Tenjin Temple to do this. I feel that there is no need to advocate it. You almost became someone else's woman. Lin Jiqing knew that this little man still had resentment in his stomach. They are doing this for my own good. I have a special physique. If I want to advance to celestial immortal, this is the only way. Lin Fei was very unhappy. Bullsh *T. What kind of cultivation method is this? Isn't it just a celestial immortal? I will help you advance to celestial immortal sooner or later. I used a little more than 10 years to cultivate my strength to this level. In my opinion, celestial immortal will definitely advance to celestial immortal in less than 10 years. Advance to celestial immortal in less than 30 years. Lin Jiqing was dumbfounded. In Xiantian continent, the super record of advancing to celestial immortal was 100 years. This super record had never been surpassed. If it was someone else who said this, Lin Jiqing would not take it seriously. When Lin Fei spoke, Lin Jiqing was skeptical. There was no one else in Tenjin Temple who could cultivate to this level in 10 years. Even she felt that she was inferior. 30 years should be about right. Lin Fei calculated in his heart. So, celestial immortal is nothing to me. It is not a problem for me to advance to celestial immortal. It is also not a problem for you. As his combat strength increased, Lin Fei accumulated more and more experience. The benefits were obvious. He could instantly kill opponents of the same level. The downside was that he accumulated too much experience. Lin Fei was confident that he could overcome this problem. Tenjin Temple wanted to hold a grand celebration. In fact, it was a counterattack against the royal family. Following Ling Wuji's defeat and Lin Fei's appearance, the situation changed drastically. The grand celebration was cancelled. The Templar law enforcement team was stationed outside. After the reception, the big shots all returned and hurriedly discussed the countermeasures. From the second day onward, the Heavenly God Palace's main hall was packed with people. Many forces of the mighty God Empire came to visit the Heavenly God Palace. Not only did they want to re-establish their relationship with the Heavenly God Palace, but more importantly, they wanted to meet the supervisor, Lin Fei. As a top force on the continent, a small branch of Templar Temple was worthy of their attention. It would be best if they could get a better understanding of Lin Fei. Every time the supervisor came, it was like a sword hanging over everyone's head. They had no choice but to take it seriously. Unfortunately, their requests were all rejected. Ever since Lin Fei went to Saint's Palace, he had closed the door and refused to see anyone. If not for the law enforcement team outside, they would have suspected that Supervisor Lin Fei had left. Son of Heaven, we have been friends for so many years. No matter what, you have to introduce me to Supervisor Lin Fei. In the main hall of Tenjin Temple, Son of Heaven looked at his good friend Qingyun Zi awkwardly. Qingyun Zi, it's not that I don't want to help, but I have no choice now. The divine Son of Heaven sighed. Don't be fooled by how crowded the hall looks outside. I really have nothing to do with the supervisor Lin Fei. To tell you the truth, ever since he went to the Saint's Palace, none of our people dared to step foot into the Saint's Palace. Qingyun Zi was a sect leader of the Shunwei Empire. He had come here personally to see Supervisor Lin Fei. Whether he could see the supervisor or not was a big deal to him. Why? Supervisor Lin Fei has been in Saint's Palace all this time? Qingyun Zi did not doubt Son of Heaven's words. They had been friends for thousands of years. They had known each other since they started cultivating. Now, they had each become a leader of their own forces. Son of Heaven smiled bitterly. If I could, I would have introduced you to him long ago. You also know that Jiqing, that lass, almost became a member of the Empire of Darkness. How could Supervisor Lin Fei not be angry? Speaking of this, Son of Heaven felt wronged. If he had received the news in advance, he would not have done such a thing. How to repair the relationship had always been a headache for Son of Heaven. Is it really impossible? Qingyun Zi was unwilling. You also know that if I can't see the supervisor, I might be swallowed up by the imperial family. Qingyunzi was a leader of Qingyun sect. It was a third-grade sect that was about to become a second-grade sect. It was not a small force in the Shunwei Empire. After the Shunwei Empire was promoted, it began to swallow up some sections. Qingyunzi was not willing to be swallowed up by the imperial family, or he was controlled. Qingyunzi could not get rid of this problem, since Qingyun sect was in the Shunwei Empire. When the Saint Hall arranged for the supervisor to come down, Qingyunzi seemed to see hope. This kind of thing happened to be the supervisor's responsibility. In fact, the supervisor was used to monitor and suppress the empire. Son of Heaven could not refuse. The two of them were old friends. Similarly, their sects had always had a good relationship and could be considered an ally in the Shunwei Empire. How about this? You and I go to see the supervisor together. Son of Heaven gritted his teeth. I don't know if the supervisor will see me or not. Qingyunzi was overjoyed. Thank you, Son of Heaven. Son of Heaven also wanted to see the supervisor Lin Fei. The Empire of Darkness Alliance was not going to make it, so Lin Fei was their only hope. With the Tenjin Temple's current situation, Son of Heaven had to think of a solution as soon as possible. The imperial family might not give them a chance. Supervisor Lin Fei is in the Saintess Palace. Son of Heaven and Qingyunzi appeared outside the Saintess Palace. Both of them were rogue immortals and did not dare to force their way in. Son of Heaven and Qingyun sect Qingyunzi are here to pay their respects. Son of Heaven braced himself and spread out his divine sense. He was not sure whether Lin Fei would meet them or not. This was a very difficult problem. If Lin Fei did not want to meet them, that would be a real problem. Force their way in. Chapter 5:29. Saintess Palace. Above the Azure Lake, a small boat drifted leisurely with the waves. On the small boat, a man and a woman were lying on it. Their aura blended into heaven and earth, exuding a leisurely atmosphere. Hubby, the Grand Palace Lord is here. In the past few days, Lin Jiqing and Lin Fei were always together. She was reluctant to call him hubby at first, but later, she became bold and whispered it when no one was around. He's here. What does it have to do with me? Lin Fei curled his lips. After arriving at the Saintess Palace, Lin Fei put down all his burdens and pressure to be with his beloved woman. He knew that such opportunities were rare, so he didn't want to see anyone. Didn't you say that you're not angry? Lin Jiqing looked wronged. Why don't you want to see the Grand Palace, Lord? Lin Fei really couldn't do anything about Lin Jiqing. Seeing her wronged look, he quickly said, I'm afraid that our leisurely days will be over. I'll see her, okay? Stretching his body, Lin Fei said to himself, women are femme fatale. No wonder once an emperor or a hero is addicted to love, he will lose his country. Now I have a deep understanding of it. In the past few days, Lin Fei and Lin Jiqing were always together. Love eroded everything, and he was addicted to it. He didn't want to do anything. Come in. Lin Fei sent out his divine sense. The smile on his face was replaced by a solemn one with divine might. Those who weren't strong didn't dare to look directly at her. Just a glance would cause their souls to collapse, leaving an indelible impression in their hearts. It would take a long time to erase it. Son of Heaven, who had been waiting outside, was uneasy, worried that the other party wouldn't see him. Fortunately, the supervisor is willing to see us. Son of Heaven heaved a sigh of relief. Son of Heaven knew that it was an opportunity for the supervisor to see him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to see the supervisor. In the pavilion by the lake, Son of Heaven met Lin Fei and Lin Jiqing. Supervisor Lin, this is Qingyunzi from Qingyun sect. Son of Heaven didn't dare to make connections. Lin Fei casually glanced over, and Qingyunzi instantly felt as if an incomparably tall mountain was pressing down on him. What a terrifying gaze! I'm a fifth tribulation, scattered immortal. Why do I have such a feeling? Qingyunzi, wasn't the only one who sensed this gaze. Tian Shensi also sensed it. He was also incredibly shocked, unable to imagine it. After refining the divine grass, Lin Fei's body contained divinity. Lin Fei glanced over, his eyes filled with divine might. Actually, they could withstand divine might. No matter how strong a loose immortal was, he was still a mortal. How could a mortal not be afraid in front of a god? Azure Cloud Sec's Qing Yin, Z greets Supervisor Lin. Qing Yin, Z said respectfully. According to the rumors in the outside world, the inspections commissioner, Lin Fei, was extremely powerful. At first, Qing Yin Z didn't think much of it. However, as soon as Lin Fei's gaze swept over him, he realized that this young inspector was extremely powerful and definitely not a simple person. Supervisor Lin, take your time. I won't disturb you anymore. Lin Jiqing left tactfully. Lin Fei nodded. He was very satisfied with Qing Yin Zi's performance. If you have something to say, say it. I like to get straight to the point. What I hate the most is beating around the bush. Lin Fei did not know much about the Mighty God Empire, but the Templar Hall had collected detailed information on the Mighty God Empire. Lin Fei had already memorized everything. The Clear Sky sect was a third-grade sect that was about to be promoted to a second-grade sect. It was one of the top 20 forces in the Mighty God Empire. Lin Jiqing came out of the Saint Lady Palace and landed in a palace. Master, the beautiful woman in white, Sulan, had been feeling guilty recently. When she saw Lin Jiqing, she was startled at first, and then she was pleasantly surprised. You're here. Master has let you down. Master, I'm the one who has let you down. Lin Jiqing also wanted to ease the tension between the Tenjin Temple and Lin Fei. I shouldn't have hidden it from you. The heaven's chosen daughter of the Tenjin Temple, however, Lin Jiqing knew what she had to do for her man. She wasn't a mere vase who didn't know anything and didn't know how to do anything. Therefore, she took the opportunity when the Grand Palace Lord brought people over to see her master. Su Lan found that after a few days, her disciple's face was rosy. This was something she hadn't seen for a long time, and it seemed that it was rare in her memory. Is he good to you? Lin Jiqing faced her master as if she was facing her parents. He's very good to me. I'm very happy. Master, you don't have to worry. He's a very easy person to negotiate with. Su Lan didn't think so. Ling Wuji had returned with a head full of dust, and at the same time he was blackmailed by Lin Fei. Although he was angry, he didn't dare to say anything. Was this still an easy negotiation? She didn't think so. I'm relieved that he's good to you. Su Lan faced Lin Jiqing again, and more or less, she had a certain amount of respect. Tell me about him. Su Lan was also a smart woman. Lin Jiqing coming over was also a kind of recognition. With the current situation of the Tenjin Temple, it was necessary to find a backer. Tenjin Temple wanted to get the support of the supervisor, Lin Fei. Su Lan thought that this matter should really be placed on her disciple. The matter between your Qingyin sect and the royal family, I don't think I should ask about it. Lin Fei said with a straight face. He did not have any tone of voice, acting like he was doing his job. Qingyin Zi said, Lord Supervisor, as long as you help our Qingyin sect out of this predicament, from today onwards, our Qingyin sect will follow your lead. The royal family wanted to annex Qingyin sect, but Qingyin Zi was naturally unwilling. The key was to rely on the Templar Church. Since he wanted to rely on them, he had to pay a certain price. Qingyin Zi understood this. If he didn't understand this, he wouldn't have come today. At first, Qingyin Zi wanted to test Lin Fei, but after seeing the supervisor, Lin Fei, and hearing those words, he understood that it was unnecessary to test him. If he tested him in front of the supervisor, Lin Fei, it would definitely not be a good thing. The job of the supervisor of the Templar was actually to see the royal family of the empire and suppress them from expanding without restraint. It was equivalent to being a nail. If a supervisor wanted to rapidly expand his influence, he had to control a portion of the empire's strength to act as a deterrent, so that the other party wouldn't dare to expand without restraint. "You go back first. I need to think about this matter." Lin Fei didn't agree. This kind of thing had to be put aside for the other party to be grateful. Qing Yunzi heaved a sigh of relief. Considering the possibility of a chance, at least it was better than directly rejecting. This result was already very satisfactory. "I won't be the supervisor anymore." Qing Yunzi left a communication talisman, looked gratefully at the Son of Heaven, and left directly. The Son of Heaven blamed Qing Yunzi in his heart. "It wasn't easy for me to bring you in. Why did you leave so quickly? Why didn't you stay and help me? Head Palace Lord, please sit." The Son of Heaven was flattered, and with a preconceived idea, he subconsciously regarded Lin Fei as a very mysterious person, and didn't dare to put on airs in front of the other party. A gaze that could make a sixth tribulation scattered a mortal feel a wave of palpitation. The Son of Heaven wouldn't look down on Lin Fei, and treated him directly on the same level. "What does the head palace lord think of the mighty god Empire?" Lin Fei asked casually. Qingyun's sect was a third-grade sect, so Lin Fei didn't need to be too polite. The other party was begging him, and if he was too polite, the other party would look down on him, and the position of supervisor would seem unimportant. The Tenjin Temple was almost a first-grade and second-grade sect, the number one force in the mighty god Empire. Lin Fei had to give the head palace lord some face, not to mention Lin Jiqing was a member of the Tenjin Temple. The divine Son of Heaven's thoughts raced as he thought to himself, "This Lin Fei indeed has the ability to be an inspector. Is he testing me? Or does he really have ideas about the mighty god Empire? I have to think about it carefully, and I can't just deal with it casually, lest I look down on the Tenjin Temple." After a few breaths, the Son of Heaven took out an item. "Supervisor, please look at this." It turned out to be a booklet. Of course, it was not an ordinary booklet. Lin Fei took it without batting an eyelid, and casually flipped through it. The Son of Heaven was also paying attention to Lin Fei's reaction, but he didn't see any change. Whether it was his soul or his divine sense, Lin Fei was as calm as the surface of a lake. "Not bad." Lin Fei put down the booklet. The Son of Heaven was confused. What did this mean? After handing over the booklet, the divine Son of Heaven calculated that given Lin Fei's age and the fact that he had become an inspector, he would definitely show some emotional changes. Only then would he be able to cooperate with Lin Fei. But now, everything was out of the Son of Heaven's expectation. The Son of Heaven didn't know that Lin Fei's soul was so strong that he was almost unaffected. Just some information about the mighty god Empire naturally couldn't cause any emotional changes in Lin Fei. Of course, if it was someone else, they might not be able to sit still. But Lin Fei was extremely calm, not anxious, not flustered, not angry. This is the true pride of the heavens. The Son of Heaven was full of admiration. There were many geniuses in the Tenjin Temple, but compared to Lin Fei, they were like the difference between heaven and earth. The Son of Heaven thought for a while and said, "In my opinion, in the Xiantian continent, all forces must accept the management. The Tenjin Temple is willing to be a sharp knife in the hands of the supervisor." "You're being vague, so I'll say it directly." This was the only solution that the Son of Heaven could come up with. It depended on whether Lin Fei would agree or refuse. "I'm throwing away my dignity to force Lin Fei to give me and the Tenjin Temple an answer." Lin Fei really wanted to give the Son of Heaven the cold shoulder. The Son of Heaven was more difficult to deal with than he had imagined. It was a bit unexpected for him to say such words in front of the Son of Heaven. He knew that the Son of Heaven wouldn't say it so directly. "Head Palace Master, why do you say that? If this gets out, where will I put my face?" Lin Fei laughed. "It's better for us to work hard to contribute to the Saint Church and the continent." The Son of Heaven had seen the slyness of the supervisor Lin Fei. Although the meaning was similar, there was some dissatisfaction in it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have recovered so quickly. This matter still left an impact. Chapter 530. Mighty God Imperial Palace. Too much, too much. Third Prince Xia Junjie couldn't hide the anger on his face. Imperial Father, how long are we going to tolerate this? Are we going to let Lin Fei do as he pleases? Continue to affect our empire? Eighth Prince Xia Mingqiu, who was standing beside Third Prince Xia Junjie, was also furious. This is already the 6th time. If this continues, our mighty God Empire will become a laughing stock. There were a total of 5 princes gathered in the imperial palace. Of course, the mighty God Empire's Emperor Xia had more than 5 princes. He had many children, and with his ability, he didn't need to control them. Therefore, every emperor always had countless sons. Only when there were many princes could he choose the most successful one. The Xia Emperor had more than 100 sons, and the 5 princes in front of him were the most successful. They were all favored by the heavens in every aspect, and the throne would be handed over to one of them in the future. The 5 princes had gathered today for the sake of Lin Fei. In the past half a month, Lin Fei didn't seem to have done anything, but when he used his methods, he had subdued the sects that they were about to annex. This was equivalent to weakening the imperial family strength, which wasn't a good thing. If it had been the first time, they would have given the Lin Fei some face. However, as the sects that were about to annex started siding with Lin Fei, it wasn't easy for them to make a move. They didn't dare to remove the nail that the Templar Church had arranged. If they did, they would fall into the Templar Church's trap. The Templar Church might immediately send out experts to wipe out the mighty God Empire's upper echelons. No empire would do anything to the Templar Church's inspector unless they had no other choice. The mighty God Empire was the same. In half a month, the imperial family had lost sects after sections. The princes who wanted to show their support couldn't sit still anymore. Inspector Lin Fei was clearly slapping their faces. These princes were able to stand out from the hundreds of princes, and each of them was a dragon among men. How could they swallow this insult? They had to retaliate. Hence, the 5 princes had come together to meet their imperial father in an attempt to teach the supervisor, Lin Fei, a lesson. They wanted to let Lin Fei know that this was not the Saint Hall, but the godly might empire their territory. Children, you are not mature enough. The Xia Emperor, dressed in black robes, sat on the throne. He was ethereal as though he didn't exist. He gave off the feeling of emptiness. If Lin Fei was here, he would definitely recognize it. This was a projection. The 5 princes, who were originally angry, suddenly calmed down. Immaturity surrounds them. Father is right. We are not mature enough. Everyone shall focus on cultivation. Seal off the mountain? Isn't this making a big fuss out of nothing? Another upper echelon of the Beast King Valley was unhappy. Tonight, the first prince's orders had been given out of the blue, and they were actually rather displeased. Boom! A powerful divine sense swept down, and a sharp sword intent swept over, killing 80% of the upper echelons of the Beast King Valley. Blood flowed like a river. Lin Fei, who was dressed in black, appeared in the main hall. He stabbed out with his sword, and a huge whirlwind swept over. The remaining upper echelons were all loose immortals and were forcefully sucked into the whirlwind. Who are you? Why are you killing our Beast King Valley's people? Wancho Adept's pupils shrank as he revealed a guarded stance. So much nonsense. Lin Fei snorted coldly and grabbed out with his hand. A huge cauldron descended from the sky and suppressed Wancho Adept within the heaven and earth smelt. As his strength increased, Lin Fei's control over the heaven and earth smelt also increased. Our Beast King Valley is backed by the royal family. Could it be that you wish to go against them? In an unfamiliar space, Wancho Adept put on a strong front and glared at the black-robed man. What does the royal family count for? Even if you guys die, the royal family won't know. Boom! Heaven and earth divine fire spread, turning the space into a kingdom of fire. What's going on? My battle armor can't take it. These are heaven and earth deviant flames. Wancho Adept was shocked. A huge flame cage trapped him within. How can he have so many heaven and earth deviant flames? After his control over the heaven and earth smelt increased, Lin Fei could enter it. It was equivalent to a sword domain in the divine spiritual space. The other party's life or death was just a matter of a word. I'll fight it out with you. Seeing that he couldn't escape, a red heart appeared in Wancho Adept's hand. He swallowed it in one gulp. His whole body was drenched in blood and instantly evaporated by the flames. Descend, great god Monty. A huge black whirlpool appeared above the heaven and earth smelt. Who is summoning me? 2 stone, pillar-like legs stretched out from the whirlpool. After that, a 300-meter tall giant appeared in the heaven and earth smelt. Its huge eyes landed on Lin Fei. You're a human. When this giant appeared, Lin Fei frowned. You're a member of the foreign race. The giant that Wancho Adept had summoned was the high-ranking foreign race that Lin Fei had seen on the foreign race's battlefront. You have good eyesight. Commander Monty is from the giant strength race of the foreign race. Wancho Adept was like a mummy. In order to summon Monty, he had paid a large amount of essence blood to tear open the void and perform this summoning. Monty didn't think much of it. You humans are indeed trash. You can't even take care of your own race. You humans are destined to be suppressed by us and become slaves for all eternity. Lin Fei was very surprised to see a member of the foreign race here, especially this kind of summoning. He vaguely guessed that the Beast King Valley, a rank 3 sect, had the ability to summon members of the foreign race. This was a big matter. It wasn't a small matter. Lin Fei had never expected that when he was about to kill the upper echelons of the Beast King Valley, a member of the foreign race would appear out of nowhere. Moreover, it was a commander. Chapter 531. Wancho Adept's face turned red, unable to retort. He snorted, Commander Monty, we humans don't need you to comment. Killing them is your responsibility. Humans are just trash. They only know how to use excuses to cover up their uselessness. Monty felt shameless. His eyes flashed human dye. The gigantic strength race specialized in close combat. Monty's punch shook the space and Godfire rippled. It was as if the space was going to explode in the next moment. Godfire, burn! Lin Fei gathered the Godfire with a thought, and a giant dragon welcomed it. Commander Monty, you must be careful. This is a heaven and earth flame that specializes in burning everything. Wancho Adept had suffered from heaven and earth flame before. Our gigantic strength race isn't afraid of heaven and earth flame. Monty didn't care. Humans can control heaven and earth flame. So how strong can they be? Boom! The god fire burned, instantly burning the fist light and fist intent. God fire refine. When one strength increased, the heaven and earth flame would be used. Lin Fei would be the god of this world. Hua hua! The fire dragon surrounded him, trapping him within the god fire. Wancho Adept was the first to give up. He used all sorts of methods, but couldn't block the god fire. I am the sect leader. I am a loose immortal. I won't die. As his voice of despair landed, Wancho Adept was the first to be refined by the god fire. Lin Fei opened his mouth and sucked in water. Wancho Adept refined it. Monty felt immense pressure. The god fire was like a cage. No matter what methods he used, the god fire was endless and trapped him. This isn't a heaven and earth flame. What is it? Monty resisted with all his might. The high-level alien race couldn't resist the godfire either. An hour later, he revealed a look of despair. The human in front of him had the ability to kill him. Godfire is not something a heaven and earth flame can compare to. You wouldn't understand even if I told you. Lin Fei licked his lips, his eyes filled with excitement. One Wancho adept wasn't that useful, but a loose, immortal foreign race leader was much more effective than several Wancho adepts. More importantly, this was the heaven and earth furnace, a unique world. You can't kill me. Monty panicked. The Titan race was not only powerful in close combat, but they were also skilled in body refinement. Yet, they still could not block the divine flames. For the sake of accumulating experience, Lin Fei had to kill this outsider commander. Subdue? The other party was a loose immortal, stronger than human loose immortals of the same level. It would not be easy to subdue him, so the only option was to kill him and turn him into his own accumulation. Everyone has the right to kill the outsiders. Monty roared. The space between his brows moved. You can't trap me. Titan God, descend. Divine flame seal. A outsider loose immortal? Lin Fei had to use all of his power to draw on his god flame. No matter what the outsider loose immortal summoned, he couldn't allow it to appear. The divine fire that blotted out the sky and covered the earth was sealed layer by layer. Impossible, how can you seal it? Monty was truly panicking. The Titan God could not descend, and he could not escape from the divine flame space. Divine flame strangle. A huge whirlpool was formed, and the divine flames transformed into divine dragons. Hundreds and thousands of fire dragons worked together to kill this foreign race leader, destroying his physical body and crushing his primordial spirit. Human, you will regret this. We, the outsiders, will not let you off. Monty was in despair. In the end, his resistance was destroyed, and in an instant the other party was completely refined, turning into a pure power. Lin Fei swallowed it in one gulp, turning it into a part of his power. After killing the outsider commander, Lin Fei was not in a good mood. A outsider commander had appeared in the third grade sect, 10,000 Beasts Valley. There was something strange about this. Had the human colluded with the outsiders? If not, how could the humans summon the outsiders? More importantly, the main body had come. If it had been anyone else tonight, they would have definitely been killed by the outsiders. Coming out of the divine flame space, Lin Fei waved his hand and burned all the corpses in the hall. He then broke into the 10,000 Beasts Valley's treasury and plundered all the resources. The 10,000 Beasts Valley had connections with the outsiders. Lin Fei no longer had to worry about anything. He plundered whatever he could. It should be here. After plundering, Lin Fei used his powerful divine sense to search for a strange building 10,000 feet underground. Teleportation tower. 10,000 feet underground, in a space that had been opened up. An ancient teleportation tower appeared in front of Lin Fei. The ancient characters were incomparably mysterious. Lin Fei was well-read and recognized the teleportation tower in front of him. It had been lost for a long time. He did not expect it to reappear here. Something big is going to happen in the continent. The ancient teleportation tower could ignore all obstacles and teleport over long distances. Even the first grade sect, the Sword God sect, did not have such a refining method. Great fire, refining art. This was not one of the 3,000 immortal arts. It was just a simulation of one of the 3,000 immortal arts that Lin Fei had created. Whoosh! The flames burned and burned the teleportation tower. Under the divine flame, everything in the world was burned. Regardless of whether the 10,000 Beasts Valley has connections with the outsiders, losing the ancient teleportation tower will at least cause you to feel heartache for a while. This was all Lin Fei could do. He could not do anything else. Report to the St. Hall? Lord Envoy, rest assured. Once the people are in place, the campaign will begin. With the modified warriors, this emperor is confident that within half a year, our forces will expand by more than 10 times. All the opposing empires will be wiped out. Ever since the upper echelons of the Beast Valley were wiped out. After the mighty God Empire was nervous for a while, Emperor Xia set his target on another empire called the Red Sun Empire. He claimed that if they found evidence, they would hand over the culprit behind the scenes. Otherwise, he would send his army. The Red Sun Empire naturally did not think that they were the culprit. They rejected the mighty God Empire's request and accused Emperor Xia of wanting to start a war. Originally, they thought that it was just a war of words. No one expected Emperor Xia to send troops and launch an attack on the Red Sun Empire. This campaign happened so quickly that no one could react in time. A war between empires was not as simple as moving one's lips. Emperor Xia made his move. The mighty God Empire's army swept through the various empires of the Red Sun Empire like a hot knife through butter. None of the empires could stop the mighty God Empire. By the time the Red Sun Empire reacted, half of the entire empire's territory had fallen. All the empires started to surrender and open their city gates to welcome the new empire. The Red Sun Empire started to retaliate. Their armies arrived. Everyone thought that the war was over. Unexpectedly, the Red Sun Empire was defeated and their prince was killed. The continent was in an uproar. 1.5 months later, the Red Sun Empire lost all resistance. The entire imperial family was killed, and the entire empire was erased from the continent. The continent was in an uproar. Hubby, the mighty God Empire really shocked everyone this time. I didn't expect them to hide so much. On top of the Tenjin Temple, Lin Jiqing was reading the news. Lin Fei was also shocked. This is really unexpected. I killed the upper echelons of the Beast King Valley, but it became a reason for them to attack. They even defeated the Red Sun Empire and killed their leader on the spot. The Saint Hall didn't even have time to react. Lin Fei didn't pay much attention to the war between the mighty God Empire and the Red Sun Empire. It was common for empires to fight each other, and they were usually small-scale battles. Lin Fei also didn't pay much attention to it. But because of this negligence, the mighty God Empire exerted their strength and defeated the Red Sun Empire. The mighty God Empire wanted to deal with the Red Sun Empire from the start. I secretly arranged people to monitor them and discovered that they had gained a group of high-level warriors. They contributed greatly to the Red Sun Empire's defeat. Every time they attack cities and plunder territories. Lin Jiqing's expression was solemn. Lin Fei couldn't figure out why the mighty God Empire wanted to start a war. Even now, he couldn't think of a reason. The Red Sun Empire's defeat was completely unexpected. The fact that a great empire had been defeated so quickly was indeed shocking to everyone. The mighty God Empire has great ambitions. No matter what their motive is, it will be revealed eventually. Lin Fei wasn't in a position to stop them. We just need to guard against them. Lin Jiqing agreed. No matter what kind of conspiracy they have, it will appear sooner or later. We just need to increase our strength. Although Lin Fei was the supervisor, he couldn't stop the mighty God Empire from expanding their influence. The Saint Hall's duty was to maintain the continent's stability. In fact, the mighty God Empire had crossed the bottom line in this war. Since the upper echelons of the Beast King Valley had been killed, the mighty God Empire's imperial advisor had a good reason to act. Coupled with the fact that Lin Fei couldn't react in time, the mighty God Empire had the opportunity to wipe out the Red Sun Empire. Reporting to Supervisor Lin. Chapter 532. Lin Fei was usually at the Templar Division or the Saintess Palace of the Tenjin Temple. Hearing that the supervisor of the Red Sun Empire had arrived, Lin Fei frowned. Arrange for him to go to the main hall. I'll be there in a moment. Hubby, the invigilator is probably here for you. Lin Jiqing was a spoiled girl. She knew what was going on with just a thought. Lin Fei stood up, exuding an imposing aura. No one comes to the temple for no reason. It must be the sacred palace and the sacred temple. However, since your husband is the supervising inspector, how can he be manipulated by them? I'll go meet the supervising inspector and see what he's up to. I'll go with you. Your enemy is my enemy. We are Taoist companions. If there's a problem, we must face it together. I also want to see what the man who dares to target me is capable of. All right, let's go together. Lin Fei's heart warmed. The Saintess Palace was huge. There were many side halls. After Lin Fei's men invited the supervisor over, they left on their own. Supervisor Yin, I heard that Lin Fei is arrogant. It's not a good thing to push the blame on him. Supervisor Yin was the supervisor of the Red Sun Empire. He was the previous supervisor. After the Red Sun Empire was defeated, it was quickly wiped out and removed from the mainland. This supervisor's position had come to an end. Lin Fei was just lucky. Supervisor Yin sneered. With such a big incident, the higher-ups are worried about not being able to find a chance to deal with Lin Fei. As long as I escort Lin Fei back, the higher-ups will deal with Lin Fei. Supervisor Yin was indifferent to the words of his confidant. Lin Fei has offended the sacred palace and the holy temple. This time, we'll kick Lin Fei out of his position. I want to see how he can continue to mingle in the Templar division. Lord Supervisor, this is a brilliant move. When Lin Fei came in, he saw an arrogant young man who looked about the same age as him. Supervisor Lin, as the supervisor, how dare you leave your post? Men, arrest him. The confidant of the Yun clan's supervisor stepped forward and waved his hand to give the order. He did not give Lin Fei any explanation at all. He wanted to accuse Lin Fei of a crime, first before putting himself on the side of righteousness. How dare you? Who allowed you to be disrespectful to my husband? Lin Jiqing let out a cold snort and appeared in front of Lin Fei. The dark, cold chi turned into a long white whip and lashed on the law enforcement disciples. Every single one of them was frozen into an ice statue. As the favored daughter of the heavens, how could Lin Jiqing allow outsiders to bully Lin Fei? If they weren't law enforcement disciples of the Templar Hall, this whip would have been enough to kill them instead of turning them into icemen. Even so, it would take 1.5 years to expel the profound, cold chi. Get out here. If you dare to have any thoughts about me, you will be the scapegoat. A small heaven and earth furnace appeared in Lin Fei's palm. He slapped it on Supervisor Yun's body and absorbed all his true yuan. Then he pointed at his dantian. Bring him down and lock him up. Lin Fei erased this part of his memory and used his heaven immortal spiritual sense. No one would be able to find out. As for the rest of the law enforcers, Lin Fei refined them in one breath. Husband, is it okay to do this? Lin Jiqing knew that Lin Fei cultivated a powerful technique. However, she was worried about this matter. Lin Fei didn't care. This supervisor wants to make me the scapegoat. Wishful thinking. He shouldn't have made a move on me. I believe that the Holy War will send people over. Lin Fei didn't worry about a supervisor. At the same time, he used this method to tell the Holy Palace and Holy Palace that anyone who dared to make a move on him would end up like this. In fact, Lin Fei guessed correctly. A few days later, the people sent by the Holy War arrived. At the same time, he saw a familiar person. Butler Wu, I didn't expect you to come. The person leading the group was the Butler Wu who had served Lin Fei before. Butler Wu smiled. The Holy Lord thinks that you and I are familiar, so he asked me to come over and tell you some things. Lin Fei had certain understanding of the Holy War. Butler Wu was the Holy Lord's confidant. Sending him overshowed the importance of this matter. This supervisor Yin left his post without permission. Please bring him back. Immediately, someone escorted Supervisor Yin over. Bring him back. This kind of person must be severely punished. Butler Wu's casual words were actually a form of praise for Lin Fei. Butler Wu didn't think much of a supervisor. As for the Dantian being destroyed, it wasn't a big deal. In the hands of the Holy War, black could be turned into white. The two sat down, and someone immediately served tea. "You've been living a leisurely life recently." Butler Wu took a sip of tea. "There's nothing leisurely about it." Lin Fei smiled. "There will always be some trouble looking for me. For example, this supervisor." Butler Wu smiled. "Congratulations on establishing yourself in the mighty God Empire." Lin Fei chuckled. "I was just lucky." Butler Wu knew everything about Lin Fei in the mighty God Empire. The Holy War had its own intelligence system, so it knew everything. "This is what the Holy Lord wants me to pass to you." Butler Wu took out a small booklet. Lin Fei took it and flipped through the booklet. Butler Wu drank his tea leisurely. In his heart, he admired Lin Fei's ruthlessness. A supervisor was crippled just like that. The Holy Lord didn't choose the wrong person. Lin Fei might really become a helper. Lin Fei closed the booklet again and placed it on the table. "The continent is really not peaceful. Do you know anything about the Holy War?" "It's impossible for me to eat it in one bite. I've never thought of eating it." The Tenjin Temple and the other powers had attached themselves to him because of the Saint Church. They were giving face to the Saint Church, not Lin Fei himself. No matter how strong a person was, it was difficult for others to pay attention to him. It was even more impossible to bring him into a force. Lin Jiqing was surprised. "Could it be that you want to form an alliance with Tenjin Temple?" The intelligent Lin Jiqing immediately guessed his intention. "If so, I suggest that you don't speak for the time being." "Don't speak for the time being." Lin Fei was puzzled. "Why? Dare I ask, husband, what about your force? You don't have anyone you want right now. You can be said to be a lone commander. Without the influence of the Templar, I'm afraid the Grand Palace Lord may not agree. Even if he agrees, what would the elders think?" Lin Jiqing's words struck Lin Fei's heart hard. Lin Fei smiled bitterly. "It seems that I'm too optimistic. Or you're more thorough. I'm indeed not qualified to do it now. If I were you, I would take advantage of this period of time to develop my own force. I think it would be better to speak now." Lin Jiqing suggested. Lin Fei nodded. "What you said makes sense. With my strength, I can try to recruit loose immortal experts or control a group of experts to work for me. In the following days, I will use my doppelganger to oversee the Saint Church. There are some things that you can decide on your own. Husband, don't worry. Although my strength is not as strong as yours, I still have the battle prowess of a three-tribulation loose immortal." Lin Jiqing smiled. "With my dark, cold chi, I don't need to worry about loose immortals of the same level." It was the best choice to hand over the Saint Church's affairs to Lin Jiqing. "All right, I will leave the Saint Church's affairs to you." The next day, Lin Fei used the mortal body rebirth technique and secretly left the mighty God Empire. He left a doppelganger to oversee the Saint Church's branch. After leaving the Saint Church, he increased his speed to the limit and flew toward Sinful Paradise, recruiting his own force. Lin Fei's first thought was Sinful Paradise. There were many experts there, and it was the best place to develop his strength. Lin Fei really didn't know any other places, so he could only go to Sinful Paradise first. The continent is indeed not peaceful anymore. Along the way, Lin Fei saw no less than 10 places where battles were taking place. Dynasties against dynasties, empires against empires. There were battles everywhere. It was completely different from the peace of the past. It was almost unbelievable. Has obsidian evolved successfully? On this day, while Lin Fei was still on his way, the space vibrated. After checking, he found that obsidian had successfully refined. So he found a place and let obsidian out. Ha ha ha! I finally evolved into a heavenly demon god. Obsidian shouted excitedly as soon as he came out, but was immediately suppressed by Lin Fei. Then he revealed a wronged expression. Master, you are so abnormal. After advancing to heavenly demon god, Obsidian's battle strength also reached the level of a first tribulation loose immortal, which also surprised Lin Fei. The effect of this heavenly demon pill was too good. It directly raised Obsidian from a sage to a first tribulation loose immortal. It really was a pill that could only be consumed by the heavenly demon race. Master, you want to go to sinful paradise to recruit evil people? Obsidian couldn't help but ask. Sinful paradise has the most evil people, and their strength is also more tyrannical. It is more suitable to recruit them. This was what Lin Fei thought. In his memory, this was the easiest place to recruit subordinates and build his first force. Master, I don't agree with you recruiting those evil people. In my opinion, these evil people are not evil at all. Obsidian was dissatisfied. In terms of evil people, we heavenly demons are the most ferocious. No matter how ferocious humans are, they can't compare to us. If you were ferocious, you wouldn't be treated as prey. Lin Fei said disdainfully. Obsidian said very seriously, Master, that's because you don't know. If it was in the past, I wouldn't know the reason either. But after I took the heavenly demon pill, I finally understood what was going on. Lin Fei felt that there was an inside story. Could it be that there is an inside story in the heavenly demon pill? Obsidian nodded and said proudly, we heavenly demons are kept in captivity and used as training. It's nothing more than some powerful ancestors being suppressed by humans back then. Otherwise, humans wouldn't be able to enslave us. Coincidentally, in the heavenly demon pill I took, there was a remnant consciousness of a heavenly demon god left, and I learned a big secret. Our heavenly demon old ancestor is suppressed in a dangerous place. Lin Fei was shocked. Your old ancestor is suppressed in a dangerous place? At first, I didn't believe it either. But later, I checked repeatedly and confirmed that our heavenly demon old ancestor was suppressed. I just don't know how many are still alive now. Obsidian gritted his teeth. If Master can subdue our old ancestor, he will definitely be the strongest helper under Master. It's not a problem to establish a sect. With our ferocity, even humans can't compare with us. After Obsidian was promoted to heavenly demon god and saw Lin Fei's strength advancing by leaps and bounds, he immediately realized an opportunity. Following such a monstrous genius, their heavenly demon clan might rise again. Lin Fei pondered. Actually, he was tempted. There were countless evil people in the Sin Paradise, but it was not the best choice in Lin Fei's eyes. The suppressed heavenly demons were different. Each of them was powerful and extremely ferocious. If he could subdue them, it would definitely be a ferocious force. Heavenly demons were ferocious, many times more ferocious than humans. If not, perhaps they wouldn't be suppressed. In the eyes of others, they might be difficult to control, but as long as he was more ferocious than them, they wouldn't dare to mess around. You know this place? I know it clearly in my mind. Obsidian said, this heavenly demon elixir that I refined has been around for almost 5,000 years. I just don't know if they're still here. 5,000 years wasn't a long time, but being suppressed in a hopeless situation, it might not be easy to persevere for 5,000 years. You lead the way. Whether it succeeds or not depends on the will of heaven. Lin Fei also hoped to recruit a group of experts. The evil people in the Sin Paradise could only be the strength of the younger generation. If there were still heavenly demons suppressed, they would at least have the strength of a rogue immortal, the most ideal helper. With Obsidian waking up now, Lin Fei felt that the heavens were helping him. Heavenly demons were ferocious. Lin Fei felt that he was more ferocious than them. If they weren't obedient, he didn't mind refining them. Otherwise, how could he show his ferocity? Master, I'll take you there now. Obsidian also hoped that the old ancestor would come out, They are all suppressed under a sea in the endless sea. The endless sea. Lin Fei knew that it was a place at the end of the south. There were many sea beasts living in the vast and boundless sea. The environment was dangerous, and even experts didn't dare to casually set foot in that place. More importantly, the endless sea was the territory of the sea race. The heavenly demons were suppressed in that hopeless situation. No matter who it was, this method was sufficiently ferocious. You said that the sea race is guarding them? It should be the sea race. They are guarding the hopeless situation. 7 or 8 days later, Lin Fei and Obsidian appeared in front of the endless sea. On the endless sea, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. There was a violent storm, and the weather was dangerous. From time to time, huge sea beasts could be seen swimming on the sea. In this kind of bad weather, human experts couldn't even think about crossing the endless sea. There were also powerful sea beasts waiting for opportunities to appear. I can roughly confirm that the Mad Shark Clan is guarding our Heavenly Demon Clan. The Mad Shark Clan had a large territory and a large population. It was not easy to find a place. Lin Fei didn't expect that the Mad Shark Clan would appear out of nowhere. Isn't this clearly causing trouble for me? It's better to just kill them directly. It's a bit troublesome. Lin Fei said, let's inquire again. If there is no news, I will sneak into the Mad Shark Clan's base camp personally. I'm not afraid that I can't find clues. The current situation can only be like this. The two once again split up to inquire for clues. Lin Fei had doubts in his heart. The entrance of this great despair should be under the Mad Shark Clan's base camp if nothing unexpected happened. Another 3 days passed, and Lin Fei and Obsidian had no harvest. It was as if this desperate situation had never existed. Even the older members of the sea race didn't know of such a thing. At this point, Lin Fei couldn't continue to inquire. If he continued, he would almost be suspected. I will sneak into the Mad Shark Clan's base camp tonight. Lin Fei didn't want to continue to waste time. The St. Hall's branch had a doppelganger overseeing it. Lin Fei was still worried that something might happen. If he couldn't find any clues, he could only lower his target and start with those evil people in Sin Paradise. That night, Lin Fei sneaked into the Mad Shark Clan's base camp with Obsidian. This was a huge force with many experts. The Sea Creature Clan was innately stronger than the human race. Lin Fei didn't dare to take it lightly. Although he wasn't afraid of trouble, once he encountered them, it would only be more troublesome. After a few days of inquiry, Lin Fei had a vague impression of the Mad Shark Clan's base camp. If he wanted to ask someone, he had to find the higher-ups. Lin Fei's huge divine sense controlled an area. He wasn't afraid of being noticed by high-level loose immortals. He quickly chose a target and rushed in with Obsidian. Without saying anything, he suppressed a higher-up of the other side. You are from the Sea Creature Clan. How dare you sneak into our Mad Shark Clan? The Mad Shark Clan's higher-up said angrily. Under the endless sea, there were large and small sea creature clans living. Just like the human race, the Sea Creature Clan was not united. The struggle was more intense than that of the human race. One tribe after another often fought. This Mad Shark Clan's higher-up subconsciously thought that other sea creature clans were preparing to attack the Mad Shark Clan. Obsidian slapped down and knocked the Mad Shark Clan's higher-up to the ground. Tell me, where is the impasse entrance guarded by your Mad Shark Clan? How do you know? The Mad Shark Clan's higher-up was startled and knew that he had said something wrong. Lin Fei and Obsidian were delighted. The Heavenly Demon Clan is really suppressed in this place. Tell me, or I will be the first to kill you. Obsidian looked fierce. I advise you to let me go. You can't afford to offend our Mad Shark Clan. Lin Fei didn't want to continue to waste time. His left hand turned into a bright moon and hypnotized the Mad Shark Clan's higher-up. After a little struggle, the other party was in a daze. A melodious voice sounded, "Where is the impasse entrance?" The Mad Shark clans higher up replied mechanically, "The impasse entrance is in the forbidden land behind the mountain. There is our Mad Shark clan's ancestor guarding there." Finally, he managed to find out. "Where is the back mountain?" The back mountain is 500,000 miles to the east. Lin Fei asked some more information about the impasse entrance. He didn't know if it was because the other party's position was not high or he didn't know much, but the questions he asked back and forth were always the same. After asking the answer, Lin Fei directly refined the Sea clan of the Emperor force. "You go to my space. The forbidden land behind the mountain is guarded by the Mad Shark clan's ancestor. It is not easy to go in with you. The Mad Shark clan's ancestor guarding must be at least at the level of an individual immortal. Maybe there is also an array around. Lin Fei must be careful." After leaving the Mad Shark clan's base camp, Lin Fei went straight to the forbidden land behind the mountain. When a barren mountain appeared, Lin Fei knew that the impasse entrance was on this mountain. What a heavy guard! With his powerful divine sense, Lin Fei clearly saw the situation inside the mountain. There were many powerful Sea clan members guarding, and almost all of them were individual immortals. There were no less than 100 individual immortals. Very strong, very strong. Tenjin Temple could barely be considered a first-grade sect, but the total number of individual immortals was only about 40 to 50. Now, just the Mad Shark clan guarding the impasse entrance had 100 individual immortals. In human sects, it was equivalent to a first-grade sect. It was not wrong that the Sea clan was stronger than the human race. With 100 individual immortals, Lin Fei didn't dare to force his way in. He didn't have this level of accumulation, and he would be chased the moment he went out. Unable to force his way in, Lin Fei escaped into the void and observed them, looking for an opportunity for himself. This observation lasted for 7 days. During these 7 days, no one appeared in this forbidden land. Some wandering Sea clan members barged in and were instantly killed by the powerful divine sense. On the 8th day, Lin Fei saw a very imposing upper echelon appear. Based on the information he collected, he recognized the other party. The Mad Shark clan's patriarch, Tiger Shark, an expert who had reached the 6th tribulation. The other party entered for about 3 days before Tiger Shark came out of the impasse entrance. The moment he came out, Lin Fei could see that Tiger Shark's essence, chi, and spirit were severely depleted. His strength! Chapter 535. After entering for 3 days, the other party's overall strength had increased. Although nothing could be seen from the outside, Lin Fei could clearly see that the other party had used some sort of mystical ability to gain a portion of strength that did not belong to him. Damn it, isn't this the heaven and earth smelt? Lin Fei's heaven and earth smelt was a godly spirit martial art. There was no need to refine it, and it could be fused into one. The patriarch of the Tiger Shark clan not only consumed essence, energy, and spirit, but also couldn't refine the true essence immediately. It would take a long time to refine. Otherwise, if the two true essences clashed, it wouldn't be easy to bear. Only Lin Fei could see the situation. Damn it, this guy must have refined a heavenly demon, and even created such a huge scene. It seems like the heavenly demons suppressed in the perilous grounds are all extremely powerful. Lin Fei hesitated, wondering if he could suppress them. The Tigris Hark tribe leader, who was a 6th tribulation scattered immortal, had also lost a lot of essence, chi, and spirit. Lin Fei was unwilling. It was not easy to come here. Did he really have to give up? If he had this batch of heavenly demon helpers, he would be able to quickly establish a faction that belonged to him. I have to risk it. If I don't, I won't know. Only after I do will I know the result. Lin Fei observed for another 3 days, and no one else appeared in the back mountain. As for the Tigris Hark tribe leader, he did not appear either. He should be recovering and refining his Zhenyuan. The chance had come. Lin Fei originally could not find a chance, but when the Tigushark tribe leader appeared, the chance appeared. Mortal body rebirth technique. A Tigushark that looked exactly the same as the Tigushark tribe leader appeared. I believe they can't tell. Lin Fei imitated the aura and consciousness of the Tigushark tribe leader. The only thing he could not imitate was his strength. But that did not matter. A powerful consciousness could imitate the consciousness of a sixth tribulation scattered immortal. Hence, Lin Fei swaggered over. Tens of thousands of li. Lin Fei instantly appeared in the back mountain, forbidden ground. Tribe leader, why are you here? When Lin Fei landed on the ground, the mad shark powerhouse in charge was obviously doubtful. It seemed that the tiger shark patriarch might not appear at this time. Recently, I've had an epiphany. I'm preparing to refine another sky fiend. Lin Fei put on an air of superiority. Why? Do you need to interrogate me about this? Patriarch, the Elder Council has already said that anyone is allowed to go once a year. The mad shark powerhouse seemed to be in a difficult position. You are making things difficult for us. Boom! The sixth tribulation, loose immortal, rushed out of his divine sense. The Elders' Council is nothing. Lin Fei was infuriated. I will advance to the seventh tribulation bodiless immortal realm in a few days. Are you going to disobey my order? The loose immortal experts present could also sense the aura from their divine senses. Of course, they did not dare to offend him. It was not good to offend the clan leader, nor was it good to offend the Council of Elders. However, if their clan leader became a seventh tribulation bodiless celestial, his authority would increase greatly, and they wouldn't dare to offend him. What does the Council of Elders count for? If it weren't for me, they wouldn't be here today. How could these loose immortal experts dare to stop them? Whoosh! The formation was activated, and a desolate aura rushed out. Lin Fei stepped into the formation, and the formation was quickly sealed again. I was wondering why I couldn't sense the aura of despair. It turns out it's sealed by the formation. This formation is quite impressive. After entering the array, Lin Fei appeared in a pitch-black world in the next second. The place was filled with a deathly aura that sent chills down one's spine. Waves of evil aura kept attacking one's mind. If one was not on guard, one's mind would be corrupted, and one would be controlled by inner demons. What a powerful mind demonic tune! Lin Fei casually shook his body and destroyed the temptation of the mind demonic tune, not allowing it to invade his mind at all. The scene in front of him returned to normal. Numerous black iron pillars were locking down the sky demons, one after another. They were densely packed together. However, many of the iron pillars had chains attached to them. They're really being suppressed here. Apart from the iron pillars, the only things in this empty world were the iron pillars and chains. It seems like these heavenly demons have all been killed or refined. Lin Fei extended his divine sense, and an empty space entered his vision. Apart from the iron pillars, there were more iron pillars. 100,000 miles, 500,000 miles, 1 million miles. What a powerful aura! After 1 million miles, Lin Fei's divine sense only saw a few heavenly demons. There were no other heavenly demons. Looks like the Mad Shark Clan's clan leader must have consumed so much energy to deal with them. Lin Fei understood what was going on. Apart from the remaining heavenly demons, there was no other reason. Corrosive power? While flying, Lin Fei sensed the strangeness of the space. True essence was being corroded, and the speed of this corrosion was very slow. Even Lin Fei could not suppress this mysterious power. No wonder the heavenly demons were suppressed here. Lin Fei came to a realization. With this strange power, no matter how powerful the heavenly demons are, they are destined to be suppressed to death after 1 million years. You despicable and shameless person. You want to refine one of us again today. As soon as Lin Fei appeared, the remaining 9 heavenly demons used their heavenly demon power, and the ferocious heavenly demons opened their bloody mouths and bit down. Your heavenly demon temptation has no effect on me. Don't waste time. It seemed like they were attacking, but in fact their power was suppressed. The only thing they could use was the heavenly demon temptation, which confused people and made them lose themselves in the ocean. You are not Tigeshark. A phantom walked down from the highest point. Tigeshark, it is impossible to refine the heavenly demon true essence in such a short time. The phantom said again. Who are you? Lin Fei had been focusing on the 9 heavenly demons, ignoring the existence of another heavenly demon, an expert. Only a 9 tribulation bodiless, immortal, has the divine sense. As the other party spoke, the pressure of the divine sense rumbled out. At the same time, an illusory figure of the divine sense took a huge step forward and punched out, causing the void to ripple, wanting to destroy Lin Fei's divine sense. A peerless expert, Lin Fei was shocked. The divine sense had been cultivated to this level, and its every move was domineering. If it was the real body, it would be terrible. This was the first time Lin Fei encountered such a powerful divine sense, and he recovered in a breath. If the other party attacked with his real body, he might be afraid, but since it was the other party's divine sense, Lin Fei was not afraid at all. Boom! The Heaven Immortal's divine sense rushed out and also formed a phantom. One was a 9 tribulation divine sense, and the other was a Heaven Immortal's divine sense. The 2 of them fought. The other party's divine sense was powerful and vast, and the ultimate skills he used were all superior ultimate skills. He could kill all the experts with a wave of his hand. Lin Fei's Heaven Immortal's divine sense was not afraid, and he countered each move, but he was still unable to suppress the other party. In terms of ultimate skills, he was inferior to the other party, but the Heaven Immortal's divine sense kept blocking the other party's attacks, and they were evenly matched. The 2 of them fought for more than 300 rounds. The Heaven Immortal's divine sense is indeed extraordinary. After 1,000,000 years of cultivation, my divine sense still can't handle you. The other party's phantom retreated, and a faint voice came. If you don't become a Heaven Immortal, you will never be able to advance to the next step. Kid, did you eat a divine spirit herb? Lin Fei already knew that there was a 9 tribulation, loose immortal suppressed in this space. If he didn't have the Heaven Immortal's divine sense, the other party would have killed him long ago and obtained the opportunity to leave. How do you know? Humph! Your divine sense has reached the Heaven Immortal level, and you have divine power on you. You must have used a divine spirit herb, and it's an extremely old one. You are really a lucky guy. The person laughed. This was the first time someone recognized that Lin Fei had used a divine spirit herb. Since your excellency has such a powerful divine sense, why don't you leave from this place? Lin Fei was on guard. He had to be vigilant against this kind of expert. The phantom tore away the phantom, and on the highest mountain, on a huge iron pillar, a middle-aged heavenly devil appeared. Kid, there is no one else here except for my 9 subordinates. You should change back to your original appearance. Even if you have cultivated the mortal rebirth technique to this level, you still can't hide from me. However, I don't like looking at your face. I'm afraid that I won't be able to control myself and attack you. The other party could see that he had used a divine spirit herb, and could also see that he had cultivated the mortal rebirth technique. More importantly, this heavenly devil had lived for 1,000,000 years. What kind of concept was this? Lin Fei tore away his appearance and returned to his original appearance. At such a young age, you have the guts to barge into this place. I have a whole new level of respect for you. The middle-aged man laughed. Kid, do you have any good wine or food on you? I haven't eaten anything good in 1,000,000 years. Lin Fei knew that this heavenly devil was the real leader, especially these 9 subordinates. Every one of them had strength comparable to him, and if they were outside, they would definitely be at the level of an old ancestor. Lin Fei brought a lot of food in the space, and he was not stingy to take it out. Kid, you are considerate. Heaven-grade wine is also satisfying. The middle-aged man was suppressed by the iron chain, so it didn't hinder him from eating. He drank the wine and ate the meat in big mouthfuls. In a few seconds, he ate everything that Lin Fei took out. Kid, you pretended to be that shameless tiger shark and barged in. What are you trying to do? Don't call me kid. You are not much stronger than me. You can call me Lin Fei. Lin Fei didn't want to lose his momentum, so he waved his hand and released obsidian. As soon as obsidian came out, he was immediately suppressed by the heavenly devil's aura. After all, with this strength, anyone present was stronger than him. Obsidian greets the old ancestors. Obsidian's eyes were filled with tears. He finally met the old ancestor. I can feel the aura of my subordinates from you. Did you take the heavenly devil elixir? The middle-aged man didn't expect to see his kin again. Obsidian trembled, reporting to the old ancestor, I once took a heavenly devil elixir, so I brought my master here. Lin Fei, you are a human, and you brought us heavenly devils. Aren't you worried about being killed by those old antiques? The middle-aged man couldn't see through this young Lin Fei. Chapter 536. P.S. Thank you to Splendor Knight D. Hart for your tip. Old antique? Lin Fei didn't care at all. They just cultivated longer than old antique. Rugoziji had enough time to cultivate and refine a large number of experts. He could completely defeat old antique. Old antique was just a joke. Whoosh! Suddenly, the entire space fluctuated. A deathly aura swept over, as if it wanted to sweep through the entire space. Lin Fei, this is a death storm. Don't say I didn't warn you. Even a third or fourth tribulation, human, loose immortal, would be killed by a death storm like this. The middle-aged man said with an amused smile, Death storm. With his powerful divine sense, Lin Fei could easily sense everything in this space. This place is known as the Death Despair. Every day there will be death storms. The storms are long and short, tormenting us sky demons and destroying our will. You have to be careful. It's not easy to meet someone like you. I don't want you to die like this. Whoosh, 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 a huge black storm swept over. A huge tornado appeared in Lin Fei's vision. Everywhere the tornado passed, the deathly aura destroyed everything. Lin Fei had heard long ago that some perilous realms were so dangerous that even loose immortals didn't dare to enter rashly. Azure dragon armor. Lin Fei quickly flew in front of the largest iron pillar. He grabbed the iron chain and wrapped it around his body. He didn't want to be swept up in this storm. The end of this space was Shimdifang. Lin Fei had no idea. Whoosh! The blades of death slashed at Lin Fei's body. Even though he was wearing armor, there were still marks left on it. These marks were deepening. It was too terrifying. Lin Fei realized how terrifying it was. The Azure Dragon armor's defense was so strong that even a profound sky spiritual treasure could block it. However, it couldn't block this death storm. Not far away, the bodies of the 9 sky fiends were continuously destroyed. But in the next second, his flesh and blood body was restored. Flesh rebirth. This was the first time Lin Fei had seen such a divine ability. Every time they used flesh rebirth, they would consume their true essence, which was not necessarily a good thing for the heavenly demons. A 4 tribulation Skyfiend's body is strong, but it still can't withstand the death storm's attack. Who in the world found such a Difong to suppress a sky fiend? In a few breaths, Lin Fei's Azure Dragon battle armor shattered, and his body was mangled. Not good. If this continues, my physical body will also be destroyed. Even though Lin Fei's true essence was vigorous and could constantly heal his wounds, he still couldn't withstand the onslaught of this storm. Kid, your battle prowess has already reached the level of a 4th tribulation scattered immortal. but you still haven't learned flesh rebirth. This is simply too surprising. The middle-aged man stood in the storm without understanding anything. You're really a weirdo of the human race. Lin Fei suddenly had an idea. My body refining technique is very strong. I didn't expect this death storm to be even stronger. You ate my wine. Don't you think you should help me? I'm going to die. You won't have any good wine to eat. Smart kid. I really don't want to see you killed by the storm. However, whether you can survive the storm or not will depend on your capabilities. Listen carefully. This is the mantra for flesh rebirth. Lin Fei had not practiced flesh rebirth. This was a magic skill that could only be cultivated after becoming a loose immortal. Lin Fei had always thought that his azure dragon body refining technique was very strong. However, under the death storm, it was very weak. That was why he hadn't met a truly powerful opponent. Ding! Do you want to learn flesh rebirth? With this existence, Lin Fei wasn't worried about getting scammed. Ding! Congratulations to player Lin Fei for learning flesh rebirth. Lin Fei was very clear that this might be an opportunity for him to learn flesh rebirth and strengthen his defenses. Whoosh! Another storm descended. Lin Fei gave up resisting, and his physical body was torn to pieces. He died just like that? The middle-aged man was surprised as well. How could he meet a fellow who didn't know anything? The middle-aged man was clearer than anyone about how strong the death storm was. When human experts entered, they would die one by one. No one had ever survived. What a pity for a kid who grasped the spiritual sense of a heavenly immortal. The middle-aged man sighed. In the next second, he glared and an image appeared, turning into Lin Fei. It hurts. After recovering, Lin Fei couldn't help but say, during the first flesh rebirth, Lin Fei was in so much pain that he hovered between life and death. If it wasn't for his strong soul force, he might not have been able to hold on. Not bad. You succeeded on your first try. However, fleshly rebirth is divided into 3 stages. Beginner, minor accomplishment, and great accomplishment. You haven't even reached the first stage yet. The middle-aged man was very surprised. Flesh rebirth might seem simple, and most people wouldn't dare to try it. However, Lin Fan succeeded. After the first flesh rebirth, Lin Fei was surprised to find that his physical body was much stronger. He realized the benefits of flesh rebirth. Continue. The death storm continued. Lin Fei wasn't in a hurry and began to cultivate flesh rebirth. Every time he experienced pain, it would subtly temper Lin Fei's will. This death storm lasted for a long time, a total of 3 days. During these 3 days, Lin Fei continued to cultivate flesh rebirth. At the beginning, he could only resist for a short while. Now he could resist for more than 10 breaths of time. Boom! Lin Fei regenerated his flesh and blood once again. The death storm passed, and the entire space returned to normal. Lin Fei, you are really a proud son of heaven. You managed to cultivate flesh rebirth to the initial entry so quickly. As long as you are given time, I believe you can cultivate it to the great completion stage. The middle-aged man was impressed. It's all thanks to you. Lin Fei was wary and grateful at the same time. Without your help, I wouldn't have been able to learn flesh rebirth. There's no need to thank me. Since Rugwa has some good wine and food, I'll accept it. Lin Fei had brought a lot of them, and now they were finally put to use. In the following days, Lin Fei wasn't in a hurry to leave the death space. He continued to fight with the scarlet refining heavenly demon while waiting for the death storm to cultivate flesh rebirth. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. Lin Fei, your divine senses combat ability has reached the level of a heaven immortal, and your flesh rebirth has also reached a small success. You can also tell me your purpose. The scarlet refining heavenly demon laughed. In this month, Lin Fei had achieved something, especially to cultivate flesh rebirth to a small success. This skill was very heaven-defying. To reach the final level, it required a large amount of time. I want to build a force. You should know the rest. Lin Fei did not hide anything. For an expert of this level, it was best to get straight to the point. Ambition is not bad. The scarlet refining heavenly demon admired Lin Fei. Maybe it was because he revealed a domineering aura from time to time and didn't care about the rules. However, you don't have to think about this. When we were suppressed, the weakest were 8 or 9 tribulations scattered immortals, and there were many heaven immortals. Unfortunately, they all died under the river of time. In this month, Lin Fei thought about many things and also thought about the strangeness of this space. Scarlet refining heavenly demon, what you're talking about is the death-cold iron on your body. Rugua, do I have the ability to help you out? The strongest scarlet refining heavenly demon couldn't leave the death space because of the chains on their bodies. The death chains were formed by a special substance. It deeply suppressed them. What can you do? The scarlet refining heavenly demon didn't think much of it. Our ancestor had the strength of a heaven immortal and was suppressed. You're just a human. Don't boast so much. Lin Fei was very perverted. However, they didn't believe that he could get them out of this place. This was a problem that even their ancestor couldn't solve. How could a human have a solution? Rugua, how can I just let you out? The scarlet refining heavenly demon didn't believe it at all. Rugua, if you can save us, my subordinates, and I will help you for 500 years. To be able to make the scarlet refining heavenly demon say that, it meant that he didn't believe that Lin Fei could do it. Lin Fei suddenly laughed. 500 years is more or less enough. Chapter 537. Sin Paradise. Recently, Bloodhand had been having a hard time. Ever since that mysterious expert left, the treasure tower often arranged for people to come over. Facing such a giant, Bloodhand didn't dare to say anything. Bloodhand wasn't a fool. He learned from others that it was that mysterious senior who had a treasure map that no one else could have. The treasure tower arranged for people to come over to monitor him. The treasure tower is really too much. Bloodhand was very resentful. Whether it was the mysterious senior or the treasure tower, he couldn't afford to offend them. Bloodhand was a small force in Sin Paradise, while the treasure tower was a first-rate force. With just a flick of their fingers, even 100 of him would be crushed. In Bloodhand's opinion, this kind of life was one day at a time. When would it end? Boom! Suddenly, a peerlessly powerful divine sense pressed down. Bloodhand knelt on the ground with a thud. Senior, spare me, spare me. As soon as Bloodhand knelt down, he immediately knew that he had met an expert. This is the trash you were talking about. It was a very disdainful voice. Bloodhand wanted to retort, but he didn't dare to open his mouth or raise his head. The powerful divine sense suppressed him, and he couldn't move at all. Bloodhand is a local. With him as an entry point, we can stand firm in Sin Paradise. We won't attract those old antiques. Another familiar voice sounded. Senior, spare me. Crimson Hands finally remembered. Feeling the pressure on his body loosen, he was finally able to move again. He carefully raised his head and saw 10 black-robed men, brimming with killing intent. Crimson Hands was so frightened that his expression changed drastically. Each of the black-robed men was powerful enough to kill him. The people who appeared here were Lin Fei's group, who had just returned from the Endless Sea. From the Endless Sea, Lin Fei rescued the scarlet refining heavenly demon and killed the sea race experts along the way. After getting on land, he didn't go anywhere but went straight to Sin Paradise. You're quite smart. Lin Fei looked at Bloodhand, who was the same as before. After the last time, Bloodhand learned to be smart. Resisting meant death, not resisting meant living. It was better to live than to die. Senior, I found out something that you can't imagine. Blood Hand heaved a sigh of relief after surviving. He immediately showed off. In Sin Paradise, the only person Lin Fei knew was Blood Rogue. Back then, he had left the Blood Hands behind so that he could continue to come here in the future. He hadn't expected it to be put to use so quickly. Tell me, what news do you have? After Senior left, the people who chased after you were all the ones who leaked the news from the treasure tower. Blood Hand might have been targeted by the treasure tower, but he had his own ways of finding out information through secrets that were not known to others. I knew it was done by the people of the treasure pavilion. Lin Fei had suspected it a long time ago. The people of the treasure tower have been stationed in our Bloody Hand Hall, and they have been constantly monitoring us. They want to report the news back to Senior as soon as you arrive. Bloody Hand hurriedly threw out the second piece of information. The Scarlet Refining Heavenly Demon signaled to his two subordinates, "Go and capture that person. Remember, don't make any noise." "Do you want me to lead the way?" Blood Hand volunteered. "Approximate location and how strong are they?" Blood Hand's hatred towards the members of the Wisdom Treasure Pavilion was very deep, so he was more proactive than anyone else when there was someone who could deal with them. After a while, an Emperor Realm expert was thrown in front of them. "Blood Hand, how dare you? Just wait to be destroyed by the Treasure Pavilion." The person who came was very arrogant. The Treasure Pavilion was a big force in Sin Paradise. To destroy a small Bloody Hand Hall, they only needed to send out a peak Emperor Realm expert. Bang! The Scarlet Refining Heavenly Demon came up and shrouded him. "A mere intermediate stage Emperor Realm expert. Yet you act like an old man. You humans are really arrogant." With this grab, the experts of the Treasure Pavilion immediately withered. The strength of the Scarlet Refining Heavenly Demon was tyrannical, a monster that had lived for millions of years. The killing intent that leaked from his body was not something that an Emperor Realm expert could withstand. "You are a heavenly demon, a rogue immortal heavenly demon." This emperor was so scared that he broke out in cold sweat. "At least you are knowledgeable." The Scarlet Refining Heavenly Demon coldly snorted. "Tell me everything you know, otherwise this daddy will be the first to eat you." I'll talk, please don't eat me." This Emperor Realm expert didn't dare to lie and said everything he knew, just as Bloody Hand said. The Emperor Realm expert arranged by the Treasure Pavilion was actually monitoring Bloody Hand and waiting for Lin Fei to appear. When the time came, he would capture Lin Fei and force him to reveal the treasure map. "Lin Fei, should we kill this Emperor Realm expert, or—" "Big Brother Qi Lian, this Emperor Realm expert is useful." Lin Fei shook his head. "With the spies arranged by the Treasure Pavilion, we can also know some inside information about the Treasure Pavilion." "Humph, consider yourself lucky." The Scarlet Refining Heavenly Demon threw the place on the ground. "Take him away and suppress him." After understanding the intentions of the Treasure Pavilion, Lin Fei had killing intent towards them. With just a guess, he made a move on me. Fortunately, I am strong, otherwise it would be hard to say. "How are you going to make a move?" The Scarlet Refining Heavenly Demon sat down. The Treasure Pavilion's manager only had the strength of a third tribulation loose immortal. He had no ability to fight back against the Scarlet Refining Heavenly Devil. "You are a Heavenly Devil. It is impossible for the Heavenly Devil clan to have such super strength." The Scarlet Refining Heavenly Devil sneered. "That was in the past. Don't confuse the present." He turned to Lin Fei and said, "This person must know many secrets of the Treasure Pavilion. I will use Heavenly Devil Soul Search to search his memory. This kind of person is useless to me. Big Brother, feel free to do it. Lin Fei knew that the Treasure Pavilion couldn't sit still when the Treasure Pavilion arranged for the manager to come. No, the Scarlet Refining Heavenly Demon immediately used the Heavenly Demon Soul searching technique. This was an extremely overbearing, soul-searching technique of the Heavenly Demon race. The person who used it would be stronger than the person who used it. The Treasure Pavilion's manager knew about the Heavenly Devil Clan. He naturally knew about the absolute art of the Heavenly Devil Clan. After forcefully searching, the Treasure Pavilion's manager became an idiot. The Scarlet Refining Heavenly Devil didn't hold back and directly devoured the other party's true essence. This guy really has secrets on him. The Scarlet Refining Heavenly Devil sneered. The business of the treasure tower has been greatly affected, and they are trying to swallow up the Bloody Hand Hall. Fortunately, their memories have been searched, and I know the recent transactions of the treasure tower. This treasure tower is your enemy, so we will make them suffer. The Scarlet Refining Heavenly Devil was an extremely vicious guy. He had always been extremely overbearing. Lin Fei had long been unhappy with the Treasure Pavilion. Good. The Treasure Pavilion has the idea of annexing the Bloody Hand Hall. I want them to know the consequences and regret. The Treasure Pavilion is the #1 auction house in Sin Paradise. We can make a lot of money from them. The Bloody Hand Hall's strength expanded. They also recruited 50 to 60 rogue immortals. Lin Fei's strength increased greatly. He was not afraid of the Treasure Pavilion. In a place like Sin Paradise, it was not a big deal. Even if the Treasure Pavilion knew about it, they wouldn't dare to do anything. Lin Fei was not afraid of the other party. If the Treasure Pavilion had such thoughts, Lin Fei would dare to make a move. The timid would starve to death, and the bold would die. Lin Fei was the latter. He was not afraid of the heavens or the earth. Several secret transactions of the Treasure Pavilion were almost robbed at the same time. No one was left alive at the scene. The methods were cruel. The Treasure Pavilion was furious. Who can tell me what's going on? The gray-robed old man was furious. The reason why the Treasure Pavilion could become the #1 auction house in Sin Paradise was because of the treasures they collected from all over the place. Now that the treasures were robbed, it was a serious blow. It affected the auction of the Treasure Pavilion. Olda, why isn't he back yet? The gray-robed old man remembered his butler. As several secret transactions had problems, he immediately arranged people to investigate. Reporting to the pavilion master, "Butler, does Jade token is broken. The Bloody Hand Hall is really audacious. They even dare to kill my people." The gray-robed old man immediately understood. A mere medium force dared to go against him and even dared to rob the treasures of the Treasure Pavilion. They were really tired of living. Pass the order. Metal, wood, water, fire, earth. 5 great rogue immortals. This pavilion master will destroy the Bloody Hand Hall. The gray-robed old man's roar spread throughout the entire Treasure Pavilion. A medium force dared to challenge the Treasure Pavilion, which was no less than a provocation. The Treasure Pavilion didn't need any reason to destroy a medium force. No one dared to say anything bad about the Treasure Pavilion. When the news came out, all the forces in Sin Paradise were surprised. Arranging 5 great rogue immortals to deal with the Bloody Hand Hall was taking the Bloody Hand Hall too seriously. It was just a few rogue immortals. The Treasure Pavilion was going too far. No one believed that the Bloody Hand Hall could hold on. After all, the Treasure Pavilion was a first-class force in Sin Paradise. There were many experts in it. No one dared to disrespect the Treasure Pavilion. Now that the Bloody Hand Hall dared to send experts to plunder the Treasure Pavilion's resources, it was no different from provoking the Treasure Pavilion. The Bloody Hand Hall's unbridled expansion made all the major forces very unhappy. Since the Bloody Hand Hall didn't give them any face, the Supreme Treasure Tower was naturally willing to see the Bloody Hand Hall being annihilated. After the annihilation, the empty territory could be used to support a large force, and for them it was ready-made. The treasure pavilion finally couldn't help but make a move. After receiving the news, Lin Fei laughed. It would be fine if the treasure pavilion didn't make a move, but once they made a move, they would definitely be in trouble. The Bloody Hand Hall's force is expanding very quickly, but it is still not a large force. Qi Lian, Heavenly Demon, said, "We need a big victory. We need to use absolute strength to tell the treasure pavilion and the major forces that we can't make a move on anyone. Even if it's an existence like the treasure pavilion, we will make them pay the price." Lin Fei felt that it was too slow to develop step by step. The treasure pavilion made a move. Lin Fei was prepared to defeat them in one fell swoop. He wanted to use the rogue immortals of the treasure pavilion to set off the strength of the Bloody Hand Hall. Only then could he truly stand firm in Sin Paradise.